Okay. All right, welcome everybody. This is the episode 1 of Let Them Bake. We're gonna go ahead and do some Helldivers review on a game that has come out recently. Very fun game as far as gameplay goes. We will go over the positives, negatives, also some weapons, some other comments as well. For us to start off, I'm just gonna go ahead and play the beginning scene of Helldivers so you get a feel for the comedy. What's up?
Can you send that to me?
Much comedy that goes along with it here.
Hell yeah.
Super Earth, our home.
Yeah.
Prosperity.
Yeah, it's gonna be our first one.
Liberty.
Tabby. I'm doing okay tonight. I'm alive.
Democracy.
I'm alive. I'm here. I'm
Our
alive.
way of
I'm
life.
not dead.
Oh, hello. But freedom doesn't come free. No! Sweet liberty! No!
Ooh, it's glitchy.
Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You
It is
could
glitchy.
be next. That is,
It's fine. We're also
unless
like
you
learning
make the
some shit
most
right now, chat. So
important
like bear with us,
decision of
just a
your
little bit.
life.
This is our first time doing it this way.
Prove
Yeah.
to yourself that you have the strength and the courage.
It's a little glitchy, but I'm also trying to. We're trying to share it between each other rather than me having the footage. But that's shit we'll figure out. Not a big issue.
See exotic new
You
life
can always go to the voice channel to see it with the same audio.
and spread managed democracy
Yeah.
throughout the
Yeah.
galaxy.
So if you put the cat ears on, you can match.
Become a
I can
legend.
match Purple Doughboy if I put on these fucking cat ears.
Become
No, we're not
a
doing that.
Helldiver.
But yeah. Oh my fucking god. When this channel becomes a full-blown job and I'm making an actual paycheck off of it, yes. Then yes, I won't have a problem doing that. But right fucking now, I don't want to demoralize myself. Then my life has already demoralized me.
Alrighty, guys. We go ahead and pull
Yeah.
up the talking points really quick here over on Google. And yeah, so pretty much this is. If you ever watched Starship Troopers, this is pretty much a video game of Starship Troopers and Terminator combined. And it's been pretty fun when it works.
When it works.
Yeah, that's the key word. When it
That's the big
works.
one.
So let me go ahead and pull up some stuff here really quick, guys. I should have had it up earlier, I know, but I'm bad at being prepared in a second life. But it's
No,
okay.
you were fine. It's our first time. It's okay. But cat ears are the cat ears are not the best.
All right, so pretty much this game has been pretty hyped up a lot for the past couple of weeks here. People have been making videos left and right. People have been trying to do meta builds and all this other stuff, which is garbage and gross, but we'll get into that later. And pretty much a lot of people have been loving it or kind of hating it just because of the whole servers issue. We'll go ahead and talk about some key points here about the video game, pretty much the whole cooperative focus on it, as well as all the choices that you have to make, funny stuff to do here and there. So I'm joined by Earthboundreaper today and Inperfecta, two of my homies, fun, fantastic people. Earthbound is a fantastic streamer. I love his content, very funny guy. Go ahead and say hello, Earthbound.
Hi. I'm trying to figure out audios. I'm trying to do like no. Hi. My name is Earthbound Reaper. Yeah. No. I'm trying to figure out all this stuff too. This is all brand new to me. Refresh your page. It's fine. Yeah, sorry. Fucking Jesus. This is it's been a lot going on. But yeah, the fucking Helldivers is the dog's fucking dick, bro. This shit's dope. I've been enjoying the fucking piss out of this game, man.
Hell yeah, man. What are some things that you enjoy about the game so far?
Well, okay, so one of the big things that I've actually found that I enjoy the most, and Imperfecta's gonna laugh his ass off, but is the fact that there's friendly fire. So
Yeah.
the fact that your life doesn't actually matter in the game. It's just about completion with as many bodies as it takes. I've enjoyed that probably the most. It brings a new aspect to how we're gonna actually beat the mission, because nobody actually cares if you live or die. You're just trying to get through it. It creates a nice atmosphere for you to enjoy the game with your friends rather than it being something where everybody's too serious about it and then you lose what gaming is, which is having fun, you know? Especially when, you know, Imperfecta is punching me in the face constantly and I just drop a 380mm fucking artillery call on our position.
For sure. And Imperfecta, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what your favorite part of the game is so far?
Senpai, come in my ass and call me Obama.
Yeah, that seems pretty fair. That's
That's Imperfecta.
That's the only interaction I need.
Imperfecta is the content on my channel, by the way. He is the content.
I'm Perfecta. I'm here just to make sure everything goes to shit.
Facts. He's the HR representative on the channel too.
Well, we appreciate that. Definitely makes for great content. So pretty much, I would like to talk about kind of how the game makes you make choices while playing, all the way down to how you're firing weapons as well. This game isn't really for people that just want to come in from Call of Duty and play another Call of Duty game. It seems very different for as far as making choices, how you tackle problems, as well as even, you know, choosing whether to stop and shoot more accurately, as well as, you know, if you're running and gunning, you got to figure out what kind of equipment that you're going to have and what you're going to be more comfortable with when you're trying to do those things as well. So, Imperfecta, how do you feel about the choices that they try and make you choose in the game? Like, you know, stopping and shooting, or like even like something about your loadout. Is there like anything you want to add to that?
Not really, because I kind of play it the run and gun play style personally.
For sure. What makes you
I
want to?
like COD.
That's fair.
I like to be fast.
That is
I
true.
have my scout armor. I do not care. I go noom.
All right.
Yeah, but he also he's been trying to figure out. Actually, I think he has done it already. He's figured out how to slide cancel in the fucking game. So like, if that tells you where he's at.
It doesn't work as well as you think.
No, it doesn't. But you've been doing it.
You slide like maybe like a centimeter in this game.
Hold on, Imperfect. I'm putting you in the camera box with us.
How dare you?
What do you mean? You're not happy about how I did it? This is Imperfect, everybody. This is his IRL photo. There you go. He's there.
Just join it with us.
Yeah.
Yes,
he's there.
that is me. That is a actual face reveal.
Perfect.
Yes.
I don't have it, but it's fine. Anyway, okay. So, what about you, Earthbound? What kind of choices do you feel that the game makes you, you know, choose? What do you like about the choices?
I think the way it makes you prioritize mission objectives on the map is kind of interesting. So, me and Imperfecta were actually kind of talking about that when we started playing it. How there's like every mission has a different mission critical objective, right? But there's also all these other mission objectives on the map, some of which are other critical missions, right?
Right.
But you can either just run and do just the mission and you still get the XP based off the time that it took you to do it, and then there's the other side where if you complete the entire fucking map, you get a shitload more XP. We talked about that a little bit. I think we talked about that where it was like it really doesn't matter either way, it's just how much do you want to be in that mission.
Okay. For sure.
Which
All
is
right.
interesting.
Yeah. I just really like that they give you choices in general.
Yeah, like
go ahead.
like for example, you know, you have like the Sieve artillery turrets that spawn occasionally.
Yeah, those are sick.
They always spawn with different ammunition types. Sometimes you find 3 fucking mini
nukes.
Yeah, dude. I love that shit. It's like Christmas.
Or the
Blood.
what is the high yield explosive artillery rounds. Those are fucking nuts, man. Especially when you drop those alongside of a fucking Moab. Well, we keep calling it a Moab, but a 500 kilogram bomb. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's excessive, but it adds a flavor to the game that's interesting, more interesting.
Hey, you
For
know,
sure.
you shut your whore mouth. There is
You.
no such thing as excessiveness when spreading managed democracy.
Exactly. Thank you so
Listen,
much for the follow.
Oh, you know what? Something that we don't hear and bring up a whole lot on everything is the fact that Imperfecta brought this up to me a couple weeks ago when we started playing it. The fucking fact that the bug outposts, right, actually produce oil.
Yeah.
And the fact that our faction is trying to impose democracy upon the stars. But they focused on an entire entity that runs on oil and an entire other species that produces oil. So and we actually pumped the oil from those fucking, you know what I mean, from their actual houses and shit. It's
think.
ridiculous.
Is it
Yeah, it
democracy,
makes me
or are
think,
we just getting more oil?
or not even, or is America just moved to the stars and then we're no longer a country, we're a galactic enterprise?
If you realistically want to look at it, I might sound like a traitor for saying this. Managed democracy is just fascism.
Fair. Fair. I'm not gonna argue. I'm gonna just leave that one there.
He's a traitor. Shoot him on sight.
Jericho would definitely have something to add on that one.
I will go Gantz on your ass, boy.
I know you fucking will.
Oh my god.
You already have multiple times. We have clips.
Oh my god. Yeah, a clip of it. Yeah.
we have the receipts, bro.
The guy will become Gantz the Demon.
Oh shit, dude. And
No,
remember, guys,
yeah,
if you see Gantz the Demon out there, do not hesitate to fire on him. Anyway,
receive his oil.
He's only up until the end of the mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wait
It's
till the
also
end.
like the difficulty about the game too. It's just like Imperfecta made a comment about this earlier this year about how, you know, Destiny has moved towards a what did you call it? What the fuck did you call it?
Live service game.
No, the type of difficulty that they've created.
Artificial difficulty.
Artificial difficulty, that's the word. Yeah. They created that. This game, they manage both real difficulty with a bit of an artificial to create chaos, which is what breeds the fun in the game. But I found that to be pretty hilarious.
So what makes difficulty artificial?
Way too many enemies.
I would disagree with the too many enemies part. It's the fact they inflate health bars beyond reasonable, beyond what's necessary.
So
I would
just
argue
become
that
sponges.
correct, but I would also say that the number of those type of enemies, right, like an unnecessary amount, does create a false difficulty.
Okay,
You know,
if it's a
you know what I mean?
boss, it makes sense.
Correct.
A boss should be a bullet sponge. You're there to survive, kill the boss. A boss should be a bullet sponge. But if you're shooting 10 plus mags at one enemy to kill it, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
In this game, for example, you have the Charger. That's heavy armor. You're not penetrating that with your little casual 7.62.
Correct.
That I'm okay with. Enemies that have very specific roles, like the Charger, or you have the Bile Titan, who is supposed to be a straight mini boss.
Correct, but like, what about the fact that like there's been instances where me and you have been chased by 10 plus Chargers, as well as the rest of their species' numbers, like numbering in like the hundreds. Like, it's kind of like, why that many of one type?
So that's where the choice thing comes in, though, right? Are you gonna stand there and kill shit and let them call in more bugs, or are you gonna try and complete the mission, move from that one point, maybe come back to it later?
That's correct, but like at the same time, is when those Chargers are chasing you, bro, you're not getting away. Like,
There's 2 more points to that. There's too much crowd control. There's too much crowd control the enemies have. Everything that hits you staggers you and slows you for God knows fucking how long it. They don't actually give you an exact time how long it slows you.
And these are all the artificial things that we mean. But I think they did a good job of managing that in this game. I don't think they failed that.
If you go out of your way on the missions to destroy all of the nests, you significantly, and I mean significantly, reduce the amount of enemies on the map. Because
so that actually works. Okay.
More outposts on the map for bots, or more hives on the map, more enemies will spawn on the map.
Right.
The more of those you take out, the less you deal with.
Correct. I agree with that, and that's typically like what I end up trying to do is just complete everything on the map. Anyways, you get a bunch of XP and materials and shit, and it's almost worth it. You know what I mean?
No, it's always worth it.
But you know, sometimes though, there's been times where I go in and I'm like, I really don't want to do this fucking mission, so I'm just gonna do the 2 objectives quickly and quietly, and then get the fuck out. It ends up going. I've also noticed. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not. As far as the difficulty stuff goes, that there has been instances where I've completed the mission and I get back to the exfil point, and before I even call in the exfil and everything, it turns into a situation where everything just goes to absolute shit. Like it was increased, like I don't want to say awareness, like I don't want to say awareness, but what's the word? Like they were on high alert. It's like the enemy went on high alert and started mobilizing to figure out what the fuck. I thought that's really cool, but fuck me, it makes it hard.
That's a lot more common on the higher difficulties.
Oh yeah.
Which
I'm
okay with higher difficulties. On the higher difficulties, it should be damn near impossible to finish a mission.
Yeah, it should be.
I personally think Helldive's super easy. I'm one of those.
Of course.
Of course.
I'm one of the that runs around without the meta loadout. I don't run Railgun. I run Stinger.
Daddy.
Javelin missile. Javelin missile fun. Javelin missile one-shot pile height.
It is so good. It one-shots fucking chargers too, but it just blows their whole front end out. It's fucking hilarious.
So after extensive testing, if you don't hit the head, it will not one-shot them. But if you hit the head, it's so
done.
Nice.
But they can't be moving. I learned that. So the javelin will lock in, and it's almost like it locks in on that coordinate. So it's on the coordinate of the body, but because it's moving, it doesn't adjust enough.
So
I think because it locks into the center of the target, right?
Going to disagree with that.
That's what I've noticed though. Like I've seen it turn around and it still hits the head, but like if he's moving towards me, I don't hit the fucking head. I don't know what. I've never been able to.
Next time you play bots, what I want you to do, load out with the javelin and lock onto a dropship as it takes off. If you ever
we do that. We do that. Oh, we do that.
If you ever played Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, and you remember how stupidly strong truth tracking was in that game.
Correct.
It's that strong in this game.
Well, every time. Okay, so when we were doing the defend, right? I had a javelin, and I was playing with Admiral, right, from my Discord. And while we were in there, I locked on because I wanted to test if you could actually lock onto the ships. I locked onto it while it was flying in, but it was flying too fast and it completely overshot. So like it does take a level of like when to fire. Like you need to have
I shot a fucking tree today on accident trying to lock on with the goddamn javelin. Yeah, it was embarrassing.
The javelin does have some issues on it though. I will say it does have some tracking, like locking issues for sure. There's times where I can't lock onto a fucking Bile Titan and he's like fucking 200 meters out, and I'm like, there's no way my javelin cannot lock onto a Bile Titan 200 meters away. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's my issue with the javelin as well. If they fix the lock-on issue with the javelin is easily SS tier compared
100%, to and compared to the fucking recoilless rifle too, which I love the recoilless rifle, by the way. That's like one of my favorites. I enjoy that one a lot. I don't know why. It's fun. Especially when you can just dump that bitch into the fucking face of the fucking automatron. You know what I mean? It's just
you have
gone.
a reload for that thing. It's so much better.
So fast. Oh my god! You're just pumping rounds in. Especially if you put down a what the fuck is it? Wait, why is this in third person? What am I looking at?
Speaking of team.
Oh yeah, that's one of the bugs that I wanted to kind of go over too. Is basically, there's a weird bug that happens in the game where it'll keep you inside of first person, and it's very fucking annoying. Yeah, when you're aiming. So that's like one of the many bugs that kind of get annoying in the game. Where it locks you in the first person, you kind of have to do some weird shit on the side to kind of like get out of it. But anyway, this is like just me and another dude running like level 8 by just us. But yeah, there's a lot of bugs that we'll go over a little bit when we start talking about the negative of the game in general. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
There are definitely a lot of bugs with this game. But they're not enough to like deter me from the game. I will say that.
Yeah,
they've solved the issue with the login process and everything. I have had zero issues getting into the game in the last week, so I'm happy with that, and that's enough for me to just kind of push the rest of the bugs to the side. Half of them just make everything more entertaining. Like, let's be completely honest. I've been sitting there with you and Perfecting. You're like, shoot the Bile Titan with your javelin. I'm like, I can't lock on. You're like, he's gonna kill me. I'm like, I can't lock on to the fucking Bile Titan.
I don't care lock on anyway.
What am I gonna? Just pull the trigger? It won't let me. Like, what the fuck?
Actually, that does remind me of something. Tips for people who actually do want to run the javelin. So if you continuously hold the right trigger, or in this case, if you're on controller left trigger, or right click while you're on keyboard and mouse with the javelin, it will instantly lock on after your reload. It will be green and you can fire right away, so you can get 2 shots off per reload, or obviously per reload, before it actually loses lock.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of broken.
So yeah, you can get your first shot off right away after it locks on. if you press your reload button right away while holding down right click on mouse or left trigger on keyboard or controller, you can fire right away afterwards after you finish reloading, and then you'll lose your lock.
Yeah. But you'll get a secondary shot off, which is enough to kill a Bile Titan if you didn't hit him in the face.
Not always.
If you hit him in the leg, no. But if you hit him twice in the side, it will kill him. I have checked into that, and if you can hit the Bile Titan in the same place twice, he's gonna die. It's the legs, though, man.
Might depend on difficulty a little bit, because like they do buff up things a lot on like, 8 and 9.
Well, yeah, I haven't touched 8 and 9 with that yet. That's true. Well, I've done it in Impossible for sure. In Impossible, you can hit them twice and they can die.
Okay.
Well, it's like I don't know if you've actually noticed this, Purple, but they did seem to have stealth nerfed the railgun.
They did. Okay, I haven't really noticed it too much. I've been using railgun a little bit differently, other than the Bile Titans, because I usually use them to clear out the chargers. And basically, I've stopped shooting a charger in the head, started shooting in the leg, and then switching to another gun to finish it up. So that way I'm not wasting a bunch of railgun ammo.
I've noticed that it does deal significantly less damage than it used to, which I'm okay with. It was way too strong to begin with.
It was pretty strong. I liked it, but I do want them to rework a lot of the weapons so that way we can have more versatility versus just a meta.
I agree. I think they need like the anti-material rifle, dude. That does not seem like it's fucking strong enough.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. It's not viable in later, like after tier 6 difficulty. It's fucking not useful at all.
Yeah,
but it feels like it should be. Like, holy shit, it's a fucking anti-material rifle.
It's a fucking sniper.
It should minimum be medium armor penetration.
Minimum, yeah. If not, like,
and
really good armor penetration, but maybe not like, as much on the damage end of it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like Purple.
Two-shot a charger.
Purple and I were talking about this the other night. The marksman rifles. Why are they only light armor penetration?
Yeah, they shouldn't be. Like the SMGs should be, and whatever, I can't remember what they call it, the regular assault rifles. You got them pulled up too. Yeah. But like the shotguns, bro, like the breaker is just ridiculous. Anything. It does not. That gun does not care what enemy you're looking at.
Okay, so to kind of touch base on that kind of deal, that's what I mean. Like I like the fact they have a utility weapon that's like kind of all around, and I really feel like the breaker is that. We have like the incendiary breaker. We also have, like, today I unlocked the pray and spray. Do not use the pray and spray. Do not use the pray and spray. Like, it's not worth it. It was a mistake, bro. Like, they're like
coming out in I believe next week.
Yeah.
What was that?
Apparently they're releasing the new Warbond either this week or this not this week, next week.
I hope so.
Or the week after. And apparently, based off of the leaks, there is an explosive variant and a shock variant.
Let's go. I'm down. I'm way down. And even things like you do have a couple that are thrown in there. Like the Dominator is okay if you can hit your shots. Again, that's kind of where we come back to the whole, like, hey, you got to make a choice. Are you gonna like crouch and shoot, or are you gonna pull out your little Uzi and kind of running gun? Are you gonna be able to utilize that?
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
Yeah,
that fucking Uzi is baller.
Exactly. Like
the pistol is not shit. That's like shooting fucking 22s at a goddamn tank. Like, it's just.
But then you go to revolver, and it's and it's a good gun, right? But like then you get into the later games, and it's just like, okay, well, I'm sworn by everything, and all I have is like 6 shots, and I can't spray around me. Fuck that gun. I'm gonna go back to the Uzi. And like, we're in a fucking space age. Why do we not have a quick reloader for a fucking revolver? That makes no sense to me.
That shit is absolutely, and it's kind of like, okay, if you're not gonna give me a quick reloader, at least make this gun do stupid damage. And it is a little bit difficult with the aim, but like, make it fucking slap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, holy Jesus. Oh, something that is pretty fucking gnarly is, regardless of what kind of gun you use, I like the fact that you can hit the what are they, the Brood Commander. You can shoot his fucking head off, and that bitch will continue to come at you for like a minute. That shit is so cool. Like the hive mind mentality shit, like the Tyranid idea behind that is ridiculously cool.
It's a cockroach, bro. You cut his head off, it's gonna run around a little bit for a second.
He's solid like 5 seconds. It'll run around without a head before it actually drops.
Yeah.
And those
Like-
5 seconds mean a lot when you're.
Oh yeah, because they can one tap you. That motherfucker. Because if he hits you, and
It gets faster. It just
Yeah, it does.
shedded the weight, dude. You just fucking
Yeah.
gave it the shake weight it needed.
Made him aerodynamic. You know what I mean?
He fucking hit up
I'm
Peloton after
strong.
that shit.
Look at me, Dad. I'm more effective.
I don't need to eat you. I just need to cut you up. That's the mentality that it has after that.
The rest of my brood will eat you, and then we'll turn you into oil, and more of you will come.
Yeah. And then we have like guns that are pretty good, even in a little bit of a late game too. You still have the Breaker, that's good. Like I said, the Dominator. If you do have the Explosive Liberator as well, it is kind of helpful if you're not trying to have like the whole brain spray kind of deal with the Breaker. But yeah, so we have that for a couple weapons. The other one, not just the pump action, but it's also the Slugger. Surprisingly was really good against the robots when I was using it. As again, it comes down to hitting your shots and just stopping for like maybe less than half a second to to get that shot. And
well, I mean, it's not the flamethrower, but
it's not the flamethrower. We'll get into the flamethrower in a second.
I'm just saying.
We're talking about basic weapons right now. We'll get into flamethrowers in a second, dude.
That's like, you know.
Yeah,
Perfecta's he's a salamander in this game. We're just gonna.
A lot of people fucking underestimated a flamethrower, and honestly, when it's paired with somebody that has a railgun, or even just an autocannon in general, like that's a really good combo.
Breaker.
Or just a breaker, yeah, because you just have the extra damage on top of the fire that's like melting everything.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Obnoxious. It's
But
fucking delicious.
It's delicious. I just want.
Scrumptious.
I'm hoping the next bonds that they come out with, the newer weapons and everything, will be able to allow you to be more versatile versus having to go and tunnel vision these weapons, and those are like the only viable weapons. I love the gameplay, and I love the aspect of choice and how they try and make you kind of choose a role without necessarily having to choose a role. But the bugs with the armor and the fact that the way they set up the war bonds, this I don't know if I want to call it season or not.
We'll call it a season.
Yeah, it was backwards. It honestly felt backwards a lot of the time. Like, oh, you unlock this gun at page 2 or 3 or 4. But all these other guns, until you get to page 10, are just kind of garbage. Like, and
they're absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Like, brother. Okay, I was looking through it today, and on page 7, I think it's page 7. There's like a fucking scout rifle, but it's a fucking sniper rifle, and I'm like, I cannot wait to get that and see how good it does. But I'm like, what if it's shit?
Right.
I don't like it.
Even the scythe.
Yes, the counter sniper. I want that.
It is really fun, but you really have to play into that sniper role.
Oh, I want to though. That's the thing. Like, I want to, but like, bro, I don't know. I haven't been excited about a game since Destiny 2's drop, right? I really haven't been excited about a game, and I'm stoked about everything about this game so far.
So I'm just gonna put it out there right now. I've done a lot of testing with the counter sniper already.
Yes.
I've used both the normal diligence and I've used the counter sniper.
Okay.
The normal diligence, I would argue, is better, but you have more range with the counter sniper because it's a counter sniper. Come on.
Correct. Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. If you like to fight the robots, and I trust me, a lot of people like Malavon Creek.
I do.
I'm one of those Malavon Creek lovers.
Same.
I will always fight in Space Vietnam.
100%.
You can play the stealth role with it. You
can. You can hide in bushes.
You can be just far enough away from a target, and if you want to shoot a robot in the head, they will not know you're there with it.
Correct. And not to mention, I noticed something before is you can actually hide in the fucking bushes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can get in a bush, shoot somebody that's not too far off, and if you kill them, you're good. If you don't, they'll know where your shot came from because they're fucking robots. But if you kill it, like he said, they won't know where you're at, but they'll fan out and start looking, but they won't see you. Like, I've laid there still and had, like, those fucking ATs and shit walk right past me. And I'm like, holy shit. I have never almost shit my pants so hard in my life. Like, holy balls. It's fucking... And then I think you brought something up couple of days ago in Perfecta about how they're thinking about I think it was you and Purple were talking about it actually, about bringing in suppressors in the game.
Yeah,
like,
I brought that up.
Holy shit.
So the CEO of the company was actually talking about that, how during beta testing for the game they were talking about subsonic ammunition and suppressors and actually playing stealth roles and stealth missions. And he was like, that was it. And the CEO straight up said that was his favorite way to play the game so far. So
Yeah, it's quietly.
if,
Yeah.
especially if the CEO of the company says that, you know it's going to eventually make its way into the game.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and like, could you imagine though? So it would probably what it would be like on the scout weapons, right? Specifically. Hi, Dragon.
Hi, Dragon.
That
Thanks
would
for
be the
joining.
Focus. That would be the focus on it, but like the SMG, like your sidearm, right? The Uzi might get a suppressor, shit like that. You know what I mean? That'd be gnarly.
That would be pretty fun. I mean, just
listen to you both at the same time. Dragon, you're a goddess. I know. I see. I'm watching both of us. Yeah, I'm monitoring both of us right now too.
yeah, dude, so it would be really nice to see them come out with just being able to customize your weapon, and just being able
like an armor
to
workbench.
make armor workbench. That would be perfect. I would love to see that. Oh yeah, you got news? What's up?
Oh,
What's up,
the
Dragon?
news? But yeah, like it. I mean, like I like how your ship changes. On how
Oh
you
yeah, I
change
saw
your
that
shit
earlier
on, right?
tonight. Congratulations,
I got my
Dragon, on
hype.
getting your hype train.
Let's go, choo choo.
Yahoo! Some hype in the chat, dude.
Fact, right? Dubbies in the chat, boys. Dubbies in the chat.
Also,
The idea of being
Dubbies
able
in the chat.
customize your weapons based off the mission, to me, would just be
Missing dubbies. Yeah, that would be. But like having a workbench like that would be sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's not like they don't have the ability to. They would have to. Maybe they have to remove like one of the room spaces or something, or adjust the way it sets. But it wouldn't be hard.
Well, there's plenty of room on the ship. Like, you see there's areas that are just locked off currently.
Correct.
They could easily open up one of those areas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's like the way they have the ship design and set up, right? And this is another big feature that not a lot of people have talked about. Is like when you do your upgrades to your ship, like your modules and shit, it changes the aesthetic of the ship.
Yeah.
If you unlock everything, it opens up all of the aesthetics and you have access to everything, right? That's
You
a really
gotta
cool
actually-
feature.
Yeah.
That's a really cool feature, but it would be really, really interesting to be able to utilize those areas as like how you know what I mean, for some part of whatever the fuck it is that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna implement some shit going into the future. I think I talked to you about Imperfecta, and you said it was a cool ass idea to have the idea that we go on you know what I mean, a large scale offensive with like multiple fire teams going into the same mission. And when I brought that up, you were like, a raid, that would be wild. Like, imagine there's fucking 5 whole fire teams or 4 fire teams. Actually, that would probably make more sense. 4 teams, right? 4 teams dropping in on different parts of the map with 4 different objectives, right?
I mean, that's kind of
You have the option.
See him.
No, but being on the same map together, that would create a new dynamic of like, okay, do we want to link up and everyone do everyone's objectives together because you have the time and it would be faster, or does everyone go and do their own shit? And how would the enemy AI react to that? Would they have to split the forces that they're offered because of the way the map is set up, or like, you know what I mean?
That would be
crazy,
back-end
right?
coding, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool, but
It would be
a lot of
bro.
coding.
Like, that's like shit that's possible. It's not impossible, you know?
On top of that, though, Purple and I talked about this. If something similar, so I know you would know exactly what I'm going into, Purple.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's go.
We were talking about because there's a third faction in the game that if you've played the first game, you would know about. You won't really know about it yet until they release
You're talking about mechs.
No, that's not a faction.
No.
Oh, you said faction. Oh,
So there's a third faction that is technologically superior to anything in the galaxy currently.
right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Technically, if you want to count it, there's 4 because there's also I'm spacing their name. The ones that the robots love. The
Celestials or something? Yeah, the Celestials?
No, the Celestials
Yeah.
are the other one I was talking about. I'm talking about the cyborgs.
Cyborgs, yeah.
So cyborgs.
So the Celestials are the technologically superior, like, we will destroy everything. So what Purple and I were talking about is, what if, because I mean, obviously if you take a look at the map, there's
4 zones, yeah.
Yes. So what if, like, let's say the automatons capture one of those zones, and then they want to move into the Tyranid areas. So
like circling around, there's a 3-way battle. Yeah,
You're
you're
sitting there, you're fighting them, and the next thing you know, you get
Drop
a
ships.
notification about it, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Excuse you?
Then
You just start
seeing-
hearing them speak zeros and ones.
No,
You're like,
what
nah,
happens-
that's not Terminus. What the fuck's
what
going
happens-
on?
What happens if we like beat the automatons back into submission, right? And then we go back to fight the fucking Terminids, and then we come to realize like they've just been trying to get to the Terminids. We just happen to be in the way, and there's some form of like alliance shit that happens, and we were doing that, but then that breaks off. Like there's so many things that can fucking do with this and turn it into a shit show. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like everything can go any way. Like there's so many different opportunities for the game to
Multiple wars
enhance
on
its play.
fronts.
Yeah, again, I feel like in this situation, like that would be a lot of extra coding. They'd probably have to recode a lot of the game for it.
Not to mention that in the story, like you know what I mean, like
story-wise, it would make sense.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like it would be interesting because it would thing that we'll definitely be getting to that fucking destruction.
I don't know what
sure.
the master thing is going on, but
okay. Well, the devs have access to the map, and they can make
and
change what is happening on the map in real time. So we can be fighting and defend and winning, and maybe we win, but then all of a sudden they're assaulting like 5 more fucking planets out of nowhere. So we're back on our back foot again.
Oh shit! You always
just take it. They can just take
it.
it.
That's why you constantly.
It's one guy doing it. Shit.
Yeah, it's one guy doing it.
That's why you.
He's just sitting there rolling a d20 and be like, "All right, what's gonna be on the fucking shit list today?" Like
that's why you constantly see like major orders changing all the time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a set rotation. It's a guy deciding what he wants it to be.
Like right now, he wants us to fight automatons because he understands that like we're enjoying fighting the Terminids because it's not that much of a difficult thing. Well, it's just enjoyable, but fighting the automatons, it's a lot more intense.
It's not even that. People are only fighting the Terminids because the XP farms that are going on, which ruins everything. If you don't, if you do not finish your entire operation, you lose progression on the planet.
Correct.
Yeah.
And because
it doesn't negatively affect it, it just doesn't help.
No, you actually lose progression on the planet.
Well, no, they actually confirmed that you don't negatively affect it. It's just all the work that you did just doesn't go towards that anymore. So, like, if you
they need to bring that back. They need to bring that back.
If you leave, you're not going to have, like, a negative impact on it, but you're not helping and you're causing issues if you're not completing the campaigns. So
no shot you lose liberation status. So you, from what I understand, right, is the more shit at a higher level that we actually complete, the more impact we have towards the mission objective. Which, by the way, is like 0.0000%. You know what I mean? Like it's also not a massive amount, but if we're sitting up for 8 hours. Yeah, if we have a 4-man team and we play for 8 hours on level 9 on a planet that we're trying to defend, we might impact 1 or 2%. You know what I mean?
Not even 1 or 2%.
I'm just making an inference. Yeah,
well, I'm just making an inference. Like it's like it's so minute because we're 4 people out of millions. But if you look at it, like I don't know, not a lot of people actually pay attention to a lot of shit. They just click on the map and then they go to their mission. But if you look at the planet before you click on it, it tells you how many fucking people are on that planet operating at any given time. And that shit is in the hundreds of thousands sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
so that's why
that is gnarly.
Yeah, and that kind of leads us to our cooperative focus in the game as well. Like, pretty much, this game is not a PvP game. It's never gonna be a PvP game. It will never be a PvP. And I'm glad it won't, because we have a lot of PvP games out there already. And I really feel like games like this kind of make a community together. Like, hell, we are asking Xbox players to be able to join the game. And they were like, oh, 2 years. And we're like, we need them fucking now, okay? Like,
Malabon Creek is dead.
Exactly.
We're dying.
And I really like cooperative games because, like, I used to love playing Gears of War 3, Destruction knows, and we used to be able to, like, do horde mode for hella long, and like we never even exactly, we never even like goddamn Microsoft.
It's not Microsoft's fault. It's not Microsoft's fault either.
It's Sony, dude. But
god damn it, Sony.
But yeah, dude, I really like the camaraderie.
They know how to get oil. They know how to fight oil.
Well, we need more oil. But
that's why we're losing the game right now, Destruction. That's the whole problem. Like on both of our chats. Like I hope you guys understand. We're losing this war because, you know, we don't have the Americans fighting with us right now.
Oh my god.
They know how to fight a war for oil.
Oh my god. And we're canceled anyway.
We're not canceled. We're supporting the truth and facts and assisting our national interests of Americans in space.
Space America.
Not sponsored. Hashtag we need sponsors. If we put this
For
on
Super
fucking YouTube.
Earth.
Yeah, basically think of it like this. If you are current military, this is the Space Force.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go. Space
What the
Force.
Space
That actually
Force
does
wants to
something.
be. It's the
Yeah.
Space Force that. It's what Space Force wants to be. Yes, I agree.
You mean it will be?
No, they won't be. They'll be fucking pogue-ass leg nerds and sit there and stare in the emptiness of fucking void of space and be bored as fuck because they can't see the stars because there's no atmosphere.
Super Earth.
It's not Super Earth I don't believe in, but it's gonna be fucking. It's gonna be not the Space Force.
So
Man
yeah,
doesn't believe in Super Earth.
It's gonna be, this is the predecessor. This is how the gaming community is. Talking about what the future of our life is going to look like in the distant future, right? This is the beginning of us taking over our galaxy to become, the Imperium, Space Marines.
Well, I wouldn't say Imperium.
calm down with that.
Really
We're talking liberty, brother. I don't know what Imperium talking about.
Let him cook.
Halo,
But that Halo is the beginning. That's before the Master Chief is the Emperor.
Oh God, dude. If they release this on Xbox and don't have a fucking Master Chief skin, it's a crime. All right, like the ODST at
crime.
least.
I've
They
actually
need
said
ODST for sure. ODST for sure.
Yeah, they need to do at least an ODST-esque. Like,
Not yeah. Me and you actually talked about that, and we were like, not a Master Chief. That's fucking cringe as shit. But honestly, an ODST
I
outfit.
would love Master Chief.
would
I
be
think it'd be
perfect.
hilarious. But
we
yeah.
already have Master Chief at home.
Oh
we're
yeah,
fine.
true. They have the dollar store Master Chief outfit that I would wear.
Yeah, right? Like, but now we need the Ross ODST version, right?
Oh, and Earth don't
Right.
see it anyway.
No, I fucking
Still
it feels
Star
it feels
Wars
like
shit.
no, it feels like it's a fucking scout trooper from the fucking.
It's Dollar Store Master Chief.
You're the dollar store DOD. You fucking sit there in your chair, all right, and suck on your juice box, okay? Which I'm jelly beans.
You know
by
what?
the
You
way.
know what I will.
You have juice boxes. I'm jelly beans. I don't. I have a
Is
NOS
it-
can.
is it-
Hashtag
is it-
not sponsored. Hashtag please sponsor.
Please, we need the money. Anyway. So other than cooperative focus, this game does a very fantastic job on it. It definitely makes you feel a part of a team and a part of a bigger group than just yourself and your three homies, because you have tons of different fronts. You have objectives that you have to follow as a community to be able to defend planets or sectors, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
That's the
it's a
right place,
really great cooperative game in my opinion. I think games
Yeah.
like this are really just meant to be fun, and this game does a really good job on just being fun. That's why I think the high difficulties, the friendly fire, which we'll get into right now, is actually a great part of it. I understand a lot of people don't like the friendly fire because they
That's
don't
one
like
of the first things I said I liked.
but I fucking love the fact that there's friendly fire, because it makes you, again, choose to be a little bit more careful with what you're doing, as well as aiming. You can't just pray and spray everywhere. I mean, you can, but you're going to end up hitting some of your homies. And it makes for great interactions. Exactly, Destruction.
I'm being chased down by a horde of Marines. I'm not gonna punch you down and sacrifice you to them.
I don't have to outrun the bear.
Or-
I just have to
or-
outrun you.
That's not true. Imperfecta because he's in scout armor and I'm usually in medium armor, he just runs past me, turns around with a flamethrower, and just burns everything and hopes. And he's like, well, just get out of the way. And I'm like, but you're literally like,
I'm orphan the vomit everywhere.
what could just laser you? But it's like,
but at least the Titan's dead, you know?
yeah, right? Yeah, it's like fucking Jesus. But the game is just like I agree, they really did a good job of making you feel like you're part of something bigger, and that there's an actual like goal that the entire community of players is looking to actually achieve, whereas it's not an artificial goal to achieve as in like Destiny, right? There's no like end game like for completing the raid. Like, it's not like, oh, we completed the raid, so now the whole community, like, we killed Oryx. Like, no, he's still fucking, you can go fight him again. In this game, it's more like, we take a planet, we actually accomplished something, and then, you know what I mean? We move to the next fucking thing. Like, they did a really
Like,
fucking
hey,
good job.
we did that shit. Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
love
and
that
we did
attitude.
that. I was there.
And
I was
Yeah.
there on Maladon Creek when we lost it. Like, that shit's
Yeah.
so, like, on that topic, like,
it's really cool.
I really like hope we get pushed back to Super Earth one of these days. I want to see how that goes.
I would love to see, where that's what I'm saying. Like, the idea that they could create a situation where it's like we can have multiple teams on one map would just create like an instance like what you're saying. Like, oh, Super is surrounded, right? We have to take back ground. So they allow us to be on multiple, like a normal mission, but 4 fucking teams where we're really pushing back. and they increase the amount of completion towards that planet that we actually gain as a single team.
Okay. On top of that as well, I was actually talking to some people about this. So what I want to see is more urban combat in the game. I mean, you go to these
That would be
planets
sick.
that you expect to have been populated, but then there's nothing.
Yeah, because there's like 4 or 5 different planets
Well,
in
it's
the
like
zones that we're
Starfield
actually
populated,
fighting, right?
Yeah.
Well, some of
Where
them,
you have
there's a couple
outposts.
planets where it looks like it should be, right? But just like Imperfecta said, those are the outskirts of the planets where we are, it's industry out there. But if we were to allow one of the if they were allowed to allow one of those factions into our controlled territory, we probably will see urban combat.
Well, and that's
That would be wild, like taking out a whole 2-story or a whole fucking skyscraper to bring it down to cover your buddies when you're dropping
that's
in.
the thing though, because they do that. Like when they take over a planet, they obviously took over the entirety of the territory. So why can't we get the urban combat for that?
Yeah,
I mean, comes down to coding, man. They did. I mean, like I keep saying this, they didn't expect how big this was gonna get, and I really do
didn't
hope.
expect this game to be this good for people. Like they were not ready for us to drop millions of players into this game.
Yeah, look at how big their first game was.
Yeah, it was
At the peak,
massive.
It was like 10,000 players playing it.
Yeah, and not a lot of people were like, it didn't get as much recognition as it could have, but there was also a lot of other titles going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? This is the only thing out right now. Like I haven't found anything that's coming out right now that's been big enough to fucking overshadow it. Like it's dropped at the perfect time.
I think I mean, I'm not trying to speak for everybody, but I think the way they shot themselves in the foot with the last game is that they did a top-down shooter. And, there are people that like top-down games, don't get me wrong. Me personally, though, I get bored of that shit really quick unless it's like Baldur's Gate or...
It's classic. It's not... It's classic. It's not fast-paced and interactive, or entertaining, sorry. But that's what the generation of gamers is that's what they're looking for right now.
The cinematic fights, as you guys can see in the videos that are playing right now, I mean, like, that's what a lot of gamers want now.
It's a fucking movie,
and exactly. Like, every time you go into another zone, it's just, like, a whole cinematic thing. Like, you never know when you're going to get shot by a battle titan, like just what happened right now. Or, like, you're going to be seeing lasers flying all over the fucking place as soon as you turn your head from automaton. So, it's really nice, very explosive. I think they did a really good job with the graphics in this game as well. And if they do come out with Helldivers 3, you know I'm fucking buying it. But that's in the future. I hope that's in the future. I hope they... I
hope this game has a long life. I really do. That'd be epic. It'll replace a lot of the fucking players that are lost right now because of a lot of other games, which I'm not going to get into the negativity of other people's games, but they've lost a lot of player bases in a lot of different games, which I'm sure we don't have to actually say their names. But I mean, like even in this game, like but in this game, like you're saying, like the shit's going well. I mean, even on a smaller scale, the Terminids and the Automatons, right? Yeah, they just have 2 enemy factions. I'm so excited because I keep reading. I don't like to read shit. I'm dyslexic and it gives me headaches. But I have actually spent time reading for 5-10 minutes at a time into like lore between, the lore between the automatons and the Terminids and shit, and really understanding like what they're trying to present to us in the game. It's really, really cool. You know what I mean?
Do you want to share some of that lore while you're here?
So
or
what I've heard and seen and what I've read is the Terminids are pushing back into grain ground that they had lost because we have decided to control planets that they populated in order to literally pump oil from their hive nests, right? They're fighting us back for that, and that's a really interesting way, and I think it's hilarious. That's what was one of the topics we were going to talk about was the humor in the game. I think it's fucking hilarious how we talk about democracy and freedom constantly. We gotta go unpack. All right.
Thanks for lurk.
Love you,
Dragon.
But like that's really fucking interesting that they actually do that. I haven't really dived too much into the automatons, but I understand that it's like a socialist group almost is what it feels like. It's fucking kind of hilarious. But it's also interesting, like reading into it, that they just want to wipe us the fuck out. That's really all it is. It's that simple for them.
Yep.
Love you, Dragon.
They're doing what bugs would do if you were to, threaten their hive. And then automatons are
genocide. It's just straight genocide.
Kill the weak.
It's both humanity and the Terminids. Which is why I brought up the topic that, like, we're in between both of them right now. Like, we are in literally the worst position. If they were, like, on the top side of the map and on the right side, we might have a situation like, you know, Imperfecta where where they're fucking fighting each other while also fighting us.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I would love to see
What's
that.
up, Obi?
And that's why I keep telling people, the automatons are the threat to democracy. It's not the bugs.
Correct. Correct.
The bugs we just need to oil. The fight the automatons at this point.
Yes, that's really where it comes down to. Is that's why we keep pushing on them so hard, and that's why we have like those oil refinery objectives where we have to go turn them back on because Terminators are shutting them down. Like we gotta go fucking get it back online. We need our fucking oil, or the war machine's gonna stop turning. Right? And don't, you know what I mean? There's only two things you don't fuck with. Super Earth. It's just like America, right? Don't fuck with our boats.
Don't fuck with our oil.
And don't fuck with our oil. Like,
don't touch our boats. But yeah.
Yeah, like we're sitting there doing a fucking, you know, in an interview, in a galactic interview. We're like, oh yeah, you know, the automatons, you know, we've had some differences and issues. Wait, what was that? Oh, they attacked an oil refinery. I take back all my previous statements. We're going to wartime now. And then walks away, goes to fucking no voting.
Speaking of that, I wish I said the meme. So
I can't stand that, bro.
You know that picture of Bush when they're telling him about the second tower getting hit? That classic meme. So
yeah, exactly.
People are obsessed with that.
Bullets don't fly without supply. I love it.
People are obsessed with that meme. When we lost Malavon Creek, people fucking were posting that exact picture saying, "Sir, we just lost Malavon Creek."
Oh my fucking god, dude!
It's so ridiculous. But
this game is so memeable. I fucking love it, dude.
The first actual like TikTok I saw on the channel, right? Because like on my, I know you don't have the social media platform on your side of our channels and shit, but I try to put a lot of shit out on TikTok and YouTube and shit. First thing I saw in this fucking game, literally was like this like Vietnam sob story thing, like calling for reinforcements because we're losing Malavon Creek, and they're like begging for like all the other fucking gaming consoles to support them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't even played yet. It's only been one day, and people are already like, we're losing the war. I'm like, it hasn't even started.
We need more brothers on the field, brother.
We need more bodies.
Need more warm bodies.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude.
But I love I love it. It's a good aesthetic. I mean, I know Imperfecta is like, you know, Malavon Creek, but like, dude, the procedurally generated maps and shit, plus the different biomes for different planets and everything, just creates an entirely new atmosphere every time you fucking go into a mission. It's so fucking good. Like, there's so many good things about the game.
Yeah, and that kind of leads us to the difference between the Terminids and the automatons and the planets even that you go to, because you have automatons hacking your shit, so you're going to try and call down a railgun, but you get fucking blown up by 500 kg instead because you're not paying attention to what you're throwing, because it's not your fault. You just got hacked. And then you go over to the Termids and you're like, oh, why am I slow as fuck? You're literally frozen fucking everywhere. So you gotta kind of have to plan out your route, or
you can't see shit.
Yeah, or you can't see shit because you got fucking bug cummies all over the place, like through the fucking spore tree.
Like, yeah, it's fucking spore tree. That is a cool ass feature, by the way. Yeah. The spore tree, that creates such an intense environment too. Like, me and Imperfecta were like fucking playing. He's like, oh, there's like a fucking dust storm. And I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, nope. He's like, what is it? I'm like, I'm looking at a spore tree. And then the minute you attack one or destroy it or whatever, they just come out of nowhere too, immediately. It's intense.
Yeah, it's great, dude. I think they did a really good job with that. Just having the nice diversity between the bugs and automatons, in my opinion, though. When it comes down to it, and we'll get into difficulty a little bit more too, and this will probably lead into that, but Termids are way easier than automatons. I think. I feel
I agree.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that the automatons are literally hunting you down, and it just takes this one dude that calls in people, and you're just not seeing him behind all the bulk of the defenses, and it's just constant. Like, dude calls in more dudes to call more dudes, and it's fucking crazy out of nowhere.
It's similar with the Terminids as well. If you don't kill them in time, you get swarmed.
Yeah,
if you don't kill the correct ones at the right time.
Well, the Terminids, all of them,
they try to call out, but only one of them does it at a time if you pay attention. Like, but if you kill him, another one will immediately start. So if you can put down enough fire,
it's not always true.
Like it's been. I've had a couple situations where like I shot the dude that was trying to call, and then right off to the right, another guy's just started to try to call again. I'm like, son of a bitch.
But it's not always guaranteed to happen that way.
No, it's not. But if you prioritize your targets, I've learned that if you do prioritize your targets in this game, you have a better chance of success, and that is epic. To where it's like you don't have to just like spray into everything, but you can prioritize if you can.
Another thing is, you pay attention enough, you can actually see what has the highest chance of starting. Like for Terminids, for example, what we'll call them in. And generally, it's the armored dudes that always like hunker down with their fucking thorax in there.
Oh my god, and they're so easy to kill too. Once I figured out how to kill them, you can dive at their feet with the fucking breaker and blast their fucking chest out, or
you can do that. You can throw a grenade underneath them.
Yep, impact grenade underneath them. It's perfect.
When their thorax is up in the air, you can shoot the thorax. But those are the guys, for the Terminids specifically, those guys are the ones who are most likely to call in a bug breach. Correct.
And it's dope. It's dope that they do prioritize. And if you're on like a lower level, it's typically the little orange guys that fucking call it in. I'm also glad I've never seen. I might be wrong, but I've never seen the hunters calling in for reinforcements.
Really?
Yes. Every time.
Do you mean the hunters or the stalkers?
No, the hunters.
Okay. Because I've seen the smaller ones do it, but I haven't seen the bigger, chunkier hunters do it.
So there's like what, like 3 levels of them, right? There's the little itty bitty one, then there's the medium, and then there's the stalker, right?
Like there's the tangerine, the limes, and the fucking fat watermelon dudes that will, and then you have like the stalkers that are like the Pokemon Evolved version of those. But
well, the three like jumpy boys, right? There's like the fucking small one, then there's an actual like bigger version of that, then there's the stalker. I don't know if it's like a baby hunter and then a full-grown hunter.
Yeah, they have like the baby hunter, full-grown hunter, and then stalker kind of deal. And then like I haven't seen the full-grown hunters do a lot of calling in, but I have seen the baby ones.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't gotten to see one, right?
Yeah, so it's the diversity is crazy.
Come hang out with our Helldivers 2 podcast. But yeah, no, it's fucking it is crazy as fuck. The little orange guys too. I don't even know what they're called, but those little
tangerines, yeah. Those are just like the main purpose of those guys, the smaller ones, is to waste your ammo so the big guys can come in and fuck up your day. That's like literally
exactly.
what they're
and to call out reinforcements in the back when they're just fucking alive, so the rest of everything else can focus on your bitch ass. Yeah, 100%. I've also I enjoy the fact that there's been moments where the 3 of us have been playing and we're like, everything's fine right now, and then we go around a corner and then all of a sudden,
we got 5 rhinos.
It's okay. It's not okay. There's 4 fucking Bile Titans. There's 3 Chargers coming at us from the right, 3 coming from the left. There's 4 Brood Commanders, and they're already spawning up Warriors. And then behind us, there's 2 Stalkers that Imperfecta's calling out and trying to go find their fucking nest because that's way more important right now. With all of his hunters, and it's we were just fine for 2 seconds ago. We were just totally fine. Not an issue, not a single problem.
You guys can see it in the video right now. That's one of the spore trees that we would have to take down. There's multiple ways. There's more than one way.
They're not very difficult. They're not very beefy. You can call down any artillery or crush it with your fucking pod. It's super easy.
You don't need that. You can grenade launcher them from literally across the map. You can lock onto it with the javelin.
I like that you can lock onto a hive nest with your javelin. I just don't like the fact that I think that's an interesting thing that you can lock onto priority targets and shit. But I don't like the hitbox for it.
It needs to be more like an actual javelin. You should be able to lock onto a coordinate with it.
Yeah.
Hit it. It should be you can only lock on the heavies, or the trees.
Correct.
You should be able to lock. You should be able to choose where you want to lock on. Could you imagine if your teammates get chased down?
What if they do the LMG thing where you hold R and you can either switch it between coordinate lock or priority target lock?
That would be cool. Could you imagine your teammates getting chased down? You call it in just in front of your teammate. Your teammate gets past the blast radius, and then just boom, you just wipe out an entire horde chasing everybody down.
Exactly.
Just have your friend put on the bubble shield and attach the drop shield. Easy peasy. I mean, yeah, you can always kind of switch around who's carrying packs and stuff, and that comes down to communication and hoping that your friend can actually keep up with you and do reloads.
Right now, obviously, there's a hardcore meta. You run the breaker shotgun, you run a railgun, and you run the shield generator.
Yeah, or javelin if you have a team.
No, people don't like the javelin.
I love it. I love it more than railgun.
There's been so many
I'm on the
times
fence
I've won
about it,
games
dude.
that people have straight up kicked me from the game because I don't run the railgun.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Because you're
See-
not running the meta. And it's like, dude, this game's not a meta game.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not a meta
they
game. It's not
stick
built
to
for
the
meta, for
bubble
sure.
shield.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
I
the
get what
shield
you're
needs a
saying.
little bit of work, though. I think
So
the
what-
shield does need a little bit of extra work. I don't think it's
So,
beefy enough for the higher
What
levels.
Brony is saying is you can put the drop, like, let's say you're gonna put a 500 kg on your homie, and then you throw a bomb on your friend with the shield, and your friend with the shield just runs in there with the fucking fucking bomb coming towards him, and there you go. You just kamikaze it really quick, you know, like this.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know what
That's-
you're saying. I was
that's
talking
another
about,
funny
like,
way.
when yeah, 100%. I agree with what he's saying, but like I heard when he said the shield, I was like, that's something that does need a bit of a rework. Is that shield? It's not viable in the higher levels at all. Like it's not.
Honestly,
something
it
you
saved my
really need.
ass a lot in the higher levels. Maybe
Every
not
time
in
I-
8 and
Every
9,
time I
but like,
use it, that thing gets fucking obliterated like within seconds. I'm like, holy shit.
true,
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
so-
you will get obliterated in a second. So every time your shield goes
Exactly.
down, you probably would have died. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
so-
but I'm like,
it-
bro, it
That's
just
what I'm
doesn't
saying, 'cause-
feel like it's enough.
No, that's what I'm saying, because I strictly play Helldive. That's the only mode I like to play. People will straight up kick you if you're not running the shield generator backpack and a railgun. Because
see, I hate that.
I meant the big shield. Like
no,
the
big shield's
call-out
not, the
shield.
big shield's not worth it.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. I think it needs a bit of a
Okay.
rework. Like, the backpack shield is fucking good. It's just an extra boost of health, basically, is what it feels like.
Not
Which is
even that's
good.
good, it's too good.
Yeah, but the fucking call down shield definitely needs a rework. Like, I'm literally sitting here watching you get fucking chased by these hunters. I fucking hate them, bro.
I know,
I think
dude.
we were all three playing in this one right here.
Yeah.
But the hunters, man, they're my least favorite like enemy in the game. I don't want them gone, but
The
I'm
fact
always
they
getting surrounded by
paralyze
'em.
you is like kind of annoying.
They lick your butthole and you just can't move after that. Like you're just subject to whatever he's willing
And they
to
give
do
you a
to
little
your body.
tentai, you know, and you're just like, and you can't
Give you a
fucking
little
move
bit of a-
anywhere.
I mean, I don't not like it. I want to play Helldivers, but my PC doesn't have the room. Make room. Make room. I'm
then
telling
you
you,
would
if you
have to
play this
delete.
once, it's gonna replace Destiny for you. I promise you.
Probably not. I hope he's a diehard
General
fan of
Lockbar.
Destiny.
Well,
No, I'm
that-
kidding.
like,
I'm kidding with you. Don't
the
throw away your game.
It requires 70 gigabytes worth of space, but the game's only like 20 gigs.
Correct.
It's not that big.
It's not that big. No.
It's just that it requires so much extra space for the
Yes,
feature.
it does. It does. It really fucking does. But it's not like going back to like our fucking enemy. The only thing we really haven't really talked about too much is the automatons, dude. The fucking bruisers
Yeah.
with the flamethrowers.
Oh
and the
yeah, the
fucking
Hulks,
chainsaw arm.
the fucking Hulks, and the
the
fucking
Hulk,
chainsaw
yeah.
massacre fucking robots. Like, oh my god, it's literally things out of nightmares. Like these people are like, how can we
can't
like make it
stand-
hard for people to sleep?
That's
you
how we
know.
got shortly. Hell yeah, bro. No,
And
dude,
then
I fucking
the sodomite
hate
dogs.
it, bro. I hate it, brother. Oh my god. Like, I mean, like, we can handle it. Like, we haven't been in a situation where the three of us can't like fucking handle ourselves. You know what I mean? But it's just like, oh my god. And then sometimes I think Imperfecta mentioned it once. No, you mentioned it once. Like while we were playing, you're like, oh my god, how many fucking magazines does this thing want? Like.
Yeah.
But then you turn around and shoot another one that's at full health, and it takes like 3 shots to kill him. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? Like,
Again, comes back to choice. You got to choose your shots. Are you going to shoot their arms? You're going to shoot them in the face? Shoot them in the body isn't going to work that well.
when
And
they're
you-
right on top of you, and you
Yeah.
shoot the chainsaw fucking dudes
Yeah.
that are chasing you. Like, if you shoot them in the chest, they're pretty light armored. And sometimes they'll just fucking like die in 2 shots for me, and then I'll have the guy coming up behind him. I'll start shooting at him, and it'll take a whole fucking 2 mags. I'm like, why in the fuck is this so different? But then you have like the goofy ass thing with like the walkers, right? I think it's hilarious.
The
But like I
18.
can shoot at its I can shoot at its legs with the breaker. It does nothing. But I throw an impact grenade at his legs. He's fucking completely destroyed.
Fucking
I'm like,
buckles like a
that
newborn
shit-
fucking Bambi,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
yeah, I'm like,
That's
oh my god.
That's where
dude.
something like the Liberator Penetrator comes in. Like
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
thing is extremely good at dealing with the walkers just
Oh,
because you
it's
can
so
shoot the
good.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
Like, it's
don't have
fucking-
enough. Yeah, they don't have enough medium armor penetration guns in the game to make it
They
viable.
don't. Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Anyways. I
No-
think that's
nothing
also
with-
that they're getting to. You know what I mean? Like they're working on getting to.
I think like it'll have the penetration, and then there's so much damage drop off for the penetration weapons, and then it's like, okay, well, I might as well just go behind it and shoot it, or like, you know,
dive past it and then shoot up at him.
Or
like,
use a lot of times my railgun.
A lot of times I'll just like, while you guys are trying to engage and I see them, I'll just flank out to the side because I'm like, it'll be easier if I go around the side, take out the walkers, and then when you guys turn around, all you got to deal with is a couple of the fucking, you know, the what do you call them?
Also, like I was saying, you know, like earlier about marksman rifle, you're supposed to be medium distance, you know, at least just dropping bodies from a distance. But that gun, like those guns, don't have the penetration power that they should.
No, I feel like I agree with you. I think there is a, like with the breaker, right? If you're close, it's really fucking strong. But if you get back, you can still hit them pretty hard. And I'm like, that they need a little bit of work. Like, I shouldn't be sniping with the breacher. I should be sniping with a scout rifle. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
But like, that's all shit. Like, the game just came out. You know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be reworks for weapons. There's gonna be changes to shit. We're still gonna have those players that like came over from Destiny, where they're like all about playing a meta for everything that they play. You know what I mean? Like, they don't play the game to enjoy it. Like, we're still gonna play the way we play. We're Imperfecta's like, we're gonna be salamanders today. So we did a whole fucking like day where we play with just fucking flamethrowers and napalm. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and that kind of
are way too strong against bots. Changed my mind.
Let's go ahead and talk about that too. The customization options about between your Helldiver and even your loadouts as well. Besides the meta, we have things like the autocannon, the coilless rifle. We have the sniper that they have, which is a material rifle or anti-material rifle. Like, so what are some really good weapons that you like? And we're gonna probably talk about like from like 6 and up, because that's what we've been playing recently.
That's really all we do play now.
So when it comes down to the armor that you like to run, and even let's just say the support weapons that you like to run, and even the stratagems, what do you think is like very viable pieces of equipment when it comes to running those higher levels without it being too meta-ish? I understand that, you know, some things are just kind of broken, but
well, I just got that new armor. I just got that new Kevlar armor set, right? And it actually increases the armor rating for it, and it's a light armor. So it's a light armor, but it has medium attributes, which is, in my opinion, been pretty fucking broken, because I can actually take some hits and I'm still fast as fuck. So like, it's been really, really clean. I really enjoy it, but I don't think it's that broken. I think the what's that armor? The fucking one that gives you a 50% chance of fucking surviving and shit? I think that shit's a little fucking intense. I don't think it's too broken. I don't think they fucked up that shit too much. I haven't paid attention. I haven't used that armor, so I don't know how broken it really is.
I absolutely think that thing is 100% busted. And you could ask Purple. Purple has seen me do some shit in that armor that I would not be able to do in any other set.
You literally held a grenade.
50% chance of just surviving, right?
You literally held a grenade in your hand until it went off, and we tested it pretty much right then and there, where the grenade went off in your hand and killed me, but you're perfectly fucking fine. You're just like, oh, cool, dope. I'm just gonna, yeah, it feels good. Like, you're fucking great, dude. You're perfectly fine. I have no idea how I survived this, but I did. I say for like the earlier levels, that's kind of busted, but when you're in the higher end levels and you're literally fucking taking dome shots, you know, or like getting fucking ripped apart by bugs, it is very helpful.
Or shot by rocket shoulder goddamn automatons, like, and they're fucking sending a barrage at you. Like, I turned a corner and saw one of those fucking things, and it literally shot 4 rockets at me, and I was like, that's not necessary. Just one would have done the trick. Like,
I still feel like they need to at least reduce the chance of it proccing.
I agree.
So you think like a 30% chance over 50?
I wouldn't say 30. I'd say maybe a 25% chance at.
Okay. Let's just lower the armor rating a little bit more to where it's like a trade-off. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't make it,
armor ratings right now do not mean anything in the game. All armor ratings are the exact same.
Yeah, and that's one of the bugs that kind of like piss me off. It's like, okay, well,
especially
I want
some of that heavy armor.
Yeah. Some of the heavy armor looks so fucking sexy, and you're like, cool.
The Juggernaut set actually has like a good perk set with it, but like at the same time, it's like if it was actual heavy armor, that would be pretty broken.
Oh yeah,
for a fucking heavy build. You know what I mean? And then you've got a
It'd be worth
medium
the
guy
trade-off.
that can run. Yeah, you'd have a medium guy that would be running some form of fucking engineering vest and shit. So he's got additional explosives, and then you got a fucking dude. You know what I mean? Like it's so fucking dope. What's up, Admiral? Ooh, 3-stream watch streak. Let's go.
Let's go.
Make what? Make what? Fucking Uwu senpai. No,
But yeah, so for my, in my opinion, like you got, so if you're, you know, you can run railgun. If you're not running railgun, autocannon or the recoilless rifle or even the spear is a really good choice in my opinion in the higher levels. You just got to kind of time your shots, figure out and try and keep some space between you and the bigger guys, or have your teammates communicate with your teammates and be like, hey, fucking keep these fuckers off of me. I'm doing you a favor. Like,
what do we actually think about that Spartan laser?
So, the Spartan laser, the support weapon that you're just like,
yeah,
okay.
Which is
So
the one that Imperfecta sat there and just holds down once he actually picks it up and never stops holding it down the whole mission.
I think it's
that,
good
by the way, bro.
for dealing with lower end enemies. But again, when it comes to armor penetration, it's garbage, right? So it's just fucking beaming off and doing whatever.
It's literally doing nothing to the big boys, which is what you want it for.
Yeah. So it comes to that. It's like, okay, well, like maybe if it just hits it for a second and then reflects and then kind of pierces through the armor, that'd be kind of cool because that's laser.
I agree.
My entire thoughts on the laser itself is it is absolutely amazing up until you start hitting about tier 6 difficulty.
Right.
That's when it just starts becoming useless.
Yeah.
Unusable. Like, and it shouldn't be unusable. I feel like it shouldn't even care about your armor. I feel like it should be extremely high armor penetration, if anything.
I agree.
I agree too.
I think it should be pretty fucking broken. It's a fucking Spartan laser. It's a heat-based weapon. It should be able to knock through armor. Correct. Like, and I think it's like the way you have it set up is pretty balanced, minus the fact that it doesn't penetrate armor. If it did penetrate armor, I don't think it would be so fucking broken. You know what I mean? That'd be an issue because the way they have it set for like reload, right? Like you mentioned, if you don't go all like burn through the whole coil that they give you, right? You can still use it and not have to actually reload. You just have to wait longer for it to cool down. But the wait for the cooldown is just long enough to where it's not like detrimental, but it continues to add that fucking difficulty because you have to wait. So I don't think it's broken, but if it penetrated armor, oh my god, that would be so helpful.
I mean, hopefully they come out with more stuff like that later on.
Yeah. But I think it'd be clean also if they added in.
True. Crazy.
So like I know they have weapons that they give you a new weapon, right? That has a different round type, right? Like the breaker incinerary. So now you have a shotgun, a fucking, you know, a dragon's breath shotgun, right?
Yeah.
But
then they drop the damage.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, why didn't they just like for instance, right? If we have the fucking the javelin, right? Make one with high explosive, so it doesn't have armor piercing, right? And then make one that's, you know what I mean, built for fucking impact. You know what I mean? So it's gonna fucking break armor. It's, you know what I mean? Like whatever. Because it would, you know, maybe kill one fucking charger, but it's not gonna explode enough to kill a bunch of shit around you. Or you have a higher yield because it's a high explosive, right? So you fucking shoot it, it hits him. Maybe it doesn't kill the charger, but it's burning, fucking blowing up everybody around him too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It creates like a new aspect too, because there's a lot of times where I find that like the bombs and the explosives in the game don't have enough AoE.
Oh,
like,
well, yeah, that's another.
There's so many times, like the 500 kilogram bomb, I do not think has enough fucking AoE. Like I do not think that shit is fucking. Like,
yeah,
there's so many times where like shit's coming towards you, you throw your fucking 500 in front of them, it lands in the middle of them, and it kills like 7 or 8, but then they're still like fucking, they're still coming through. You know what I mean? Like, how is it not dead? Like, you were right there on top of it. How are you not dead? You know what I mean?
That thing's like a mini nuke, dude. You shouldn't be.
It's a fucking Moab. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Even with the
JDAM, it's a fucking JDAM. Like, let me correct myself. It's not a Moab, but it's
with
JDAM.
Even with the perks or augmentations that you do to your ship, it still feels like it drops off way too much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The orbital stuff is kind of cool. Like, it is really nice, but like half of those orbital things, after a certain level, like you're just
The 300 or the 380, yeah, not necessary.
It's not necessary, or it's not going to be helpful in the situations that you're in unless you're super far away. You're going to throw it in a base and hope to God that the things land.
You need direct, you need direct fire, not indirect fire in the later levels. But I still find, like, I've played on level 8s by myself and brought 380s with me, brought my Moab or my fucking JDAM with me, and then brought the laser, or not the laser, the orbital railgun, right?
Right.
And then went in the mission, had my Javi, or my recoilless rifle, and my breacher, and I was totally fine and able to do everything, and I would literally fucking do that shit that Imperfecta showed me, where you dive forward and throw the fucking, call for fire out.
I've been doing
and
that.
I'll throw the 380s, into the large nest areas and shit, and then fucking book it back towards my objective point, and that shit will clear itself out. And I'm far enough away where I don't have to deal with anything coming from it, and it's viable, and it helps. Because it attracts everything to that, because you're not making any noise, you know what I mean, to draw anything to you. So I find that what we consider viability just depends on your play style. You know what I mean? Like, calling in 380s, they're strong. Like, they will fuck some shit up. Like, you can 2-tap a fucking charger with 380s.
If it hits.
It's just it's random because it's indirect. But at the same time, if you're calling indirect and they have no idea that you're there, it don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to kill a bunch of shit and maybe take out the stuff you need to take out. But
since we're on that topic right now, I'm going to let you know something that is extremely underrated, stratagem-wise, that you unlock really early is just the Eagle Strikes.
Oh, I use those.
Eagle Strikes are
Eagle Strikes are so helpful.
Well, so everybody keeps telling me, I've had a lot of people tell me in like chat, and I've had a lot of people tell me in comments on TikTok and shit too, that like, why are you using napalm against the bugs and shit? And I'm like, honestly, even later game,
it's helpful.
If you read it, if you really pay attention to what it does, it's not about killing the bugs. It makes them stop moving. It's almost like the EMS. It literally slows them the fuck down, and it gives you time to get the fuck out of the way and move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not always about killing the enemy. And so many people are like, well, I solo it and I just kill everything. I'm like, good for you, bro, but I'm not killing everything. So, like,
I'm trying to get my samples,
out.
Trying to do the subject stuff, and trying to do the main objective so we can get out of here and not just die a shit out of times, you know?
Yeah. Like, a lot of people are like, well, you know, like, dying is part of it. I'm like, yes, it is. Like, the game does a really good job of making sure you understand that, like, you're not fucking important. You're not the main character. You're gonna die, and there's 20 other fucking ODSTs that are gonna be dropping in. You know what I mean?
Well, so like, even then, your hell pod drop is a weapon.
Yeah, correct. Like, everything about you are the weapon that we're sending in. So, like,
the downside though is the hell pod. Like, there's hell pod bugs. Like, sometimes you just won't one-shot titans. You won't one-shot chargers. 90% of the time, you can't even control where it's going when that's literally the entire bit for it.
You know, the funny part of I'm happy that you mentioned that, by the way. The fact that you can't control it all the time, and when you can't control it, it always sends you into the worst direction.
Oh yeah,
like
worst direction. Yeah,
like not away from your battle buddies and the enemies, no, to the enemy directly in front of the worst fucking thing. Like, I have dropped so many times in front of a charger, and I'm like, I would have loved to hit the charger, but since you won't let me, here I am now, and it will wait on you to come up and then fuck you up.
Yeah.
Oh hey, I'm spawning in. Oh hey, I can't move. Oh hey, there's 3 bile titans.
You go from Helldiver to person to Pringle Can real fast. So like, fun. You just come up and you're a snack now. Like,
yeah, exactly. and while you're coming up too, I do enjoy the fact that when you're coming out of your fucking hell pod, you can start shooting.
Yeah,
like immediately. You can shoot as you're coming up. Like, you can't aim because he's pointing up. So if there's something above you, shoot up. You're good. Like, I definitely dropped in, didn't fucking kill one of the little armored fuckers, but as I was coming up, I was just shooting into him, and then he died and fucking, like, fell over off to the side, and as I came out, and I'm like, well, that was actually kind of cool. Yeah. But then, like, right next to that was a big green fucking fat boy spewing his fucking, you know, his green juices all over my face. Kind of liked it. But, you know.
He wanted to share his lime Kool-Aid with you. But...
Listen, my guy, that was not lime Kool-Aid. It came out of his bootaw.
What was it from, Futurama, Slurm or Slurp or something? Slurm?
Fucking Slurm,
dude. Yeah.
Fucking dude. The mortar fucking bugs are disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That actually reminds me. So if you guys actually haven't been on Helldivers today, the bugs are slowly creeping their way towards Earth.
Oh yeah.
Dude, well, didn't we just take all fucking 4 of those planets?
They moved closer.
Just
to Earth.
yesterday, we
So,
cleared all 4 of those planets.
If we're not counting Earth as its own sector, the bugs are 2 sectors away from making it to Earth.
So we lost that whole sector of planets that we took.
Sometimes they
yesterday.
just reset it.
Yeah, the majority of the planets are still liberated, but there's one planet in particular that's keeping them from getting any closer.
Oh god damn.
And that's Veld. That's why right now that is the major order. The major order this week.
Is new major order. That's why I didn't know. Okay, so we gotta liberate Veld.
Do Veld, liberate Veld, 45 free medals.
And go push the fuck back into the fucking Terminators again. So basically, we've dealt with the automatons. We have that shit secured.
Yes.
Well, yeah, they beat our ass, but like we have them locked down. Is from what it looks like right now. We have that shit secured where we can manage it. Is what it felt like.
Not with the automatons. I'm telling you right now, with the automatons.
No, the Terminators, yeah. The automatons are beating our dick. Like
with the automatons, why I keep telling people focus Malavan Creek. That is where you will find the most of the fabricators out of anywhere. Yeah. Excuse me.
So is that actually making a difference too? Like the actual missions that we control and do, like complete the type of missions, does that implement a different form of success for us? Like if we're doing the fabricators, right, and we do a shitload of fabricators, does that actually help us in the long run, or does it even matter what kind of missions we accomplish?
So what matters is completing the campaign. So completing all
Correct.
3 of those missions. It doesn't matter if you're doing search and destroy in 2 of them, and then like you're doing like a evac.
It doesn't matter which ones we're doing, as long as we're doing them, all of them.
It's the difficulty and completing the campaigns. So that's what's going to contribute the most. Is if we're doing like a bunch of like Helldivers,
ICBM, and
and
with an ICBM and a eradicate and a extract the scientist fucking thing, right?
Yeah, as long as all 3 are finally complete, then you know you're contributing a lot more, and it's actually gonna raise the number up a lot more to help with you know liberating the space. So
okay, that makes sense.
And that's what kind of leads us into continue. What were we saying?
Like what is so with that being said, like when we have a defend planet, I've noticed in the automatons, when we have to defend those planets, every single time we do, it's always an extract mission alongside of random whatever, but it's always an extract mission. Is it I've been noticing that, and I just thought it was just like oh, maybe this is just how they, because we're defending or whatever and shit, but like, is that the way of the game telling us that like we were getting our asses handed to us, and like this is the way they're introducing us to the game? It's like we're gonna get the shit beat out of us all the way back and then perform an offensive, or what?
The defense missions are because you're losing the planet. They are trying to tell you.
I mean, we're losing the fucking war. Is what it feels like.
Yeah, the defense missions are straight up the devs saying you need to focus your attention on this planet. If you do not, you're going to completely lose this entire sector. But because you have all these people who want to XP farm, they don't go there. They're like, I want to be level 50. I want to be cool. Level doesn't matter in this game.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
really
that's I wanted to get into that too.
Yeah, you could be level 9 and be doing fucking Helldive, and you're totally fine.
Well, with some things here and there, but yeah, basically that's why I get a massive can of raid. Yeah, I mean that's what the nukes are for. They raid. Basically,
literally mini nuke and everything else. Yeah, we got.
That's why I feel like I like this kind of game a little bit more, is because like, not to talk shit, but I'm not trying to grind out light level. I'm not trying to follow a meta. I'm not trying to go into the same raid several times just to get this one fucking piece of armor that I need, so that way people stop kicking me out of the raid group. Like or
you're a viable option.
Yeah,
or
it's
asset
like
to the actual team. Like you need that meta shit to be a useful member of the team.
Yeah, it's like I am doing my part. And that's what matters. You can be level 50 and not be doing shit, not contributing to the team. You're just going and getting your samples, and and then you're just letting everybody else do other work, or you're not splitting off and being like, hey, I can handle X over there really quick while you guys are handling YZ over there because I'm decked out in gear. Or like, hey, let's have this guy that has the sneaky armor kind of just sneak on over there, grab the fucking SSD that we need really quick, and meet us over back at this point once we're done with turning on a generator.
Yeah, which is typically how our team plays, anyways. Like, we split off when we need to, but there's a lot of times where we're like, we need to stick together on this one. But then there's like, okay, let's split up and go do X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And it's not a problem.
And that's why I really kind of enjoy this game, because like you can be level 20 running an extreme or something with us, and you know, it'd be fucking crazy, but you'll be able to contribute, because
Pretty good, yeah.
even if you're dying left and right, it's still fine because you're still doing the objective. You're still helping out. You're not really worrying about your KD. You, even if you're a fucking meat shield for 5 seconds, right? Like, you're still doing something, and that's why I really and that's what makes the game, I feel different, a lot more enjoyable, and just fun in general, because you can just have a homie come in and be like, hey man, I'm only level 5, we're doing challenging. It's like, oh dude, it's fine. We're gonna have fun, we'll cover your ass. Just make sure that you're shooting and communicating with us, and we'll make sure that you make it through. And there's multiple times that you don't even need to have that conversation. People are just fucking on it. So like, that's I really love that about the game.
Where to be too. Like, they also know like where to be. That's something I've noticed too. Like when we play together and shit, like we don't have to really talk about like how we're gonna approach a target. Like we just do it, and like we just know what the fuck where we need to be and whatever. It really increases the gameplay experience for everybody on the team. You know, 100%. Like when people like are like, you don't have to communicate. Like we just know where the fuck we need to be and what we need to do. Even though we have different like play styles and shit, right?
Yeah.
So,
but you play into those play styles and you work with your homies to, like, you know, make a better team. Some, you know, not everybody needs to be defensive, not everybody needs to be offensive, not everybody needs to be sneaky. As long as you know what your homie's going to be doing, you're going to probably be able to play better, versus just being like, oh hey, I need to play this because we're not playing Overwatch. We're playing a game where it's like, okay, as long as we communicate, as long as we work together, well, we're going to make it out. It's going to be
not to mention like our mission success, the amount of success we have on a mission, the more shit we complete in that mission is actually going to go a long ways towards the game itself. And that, like, at the end of the day, that's the greatest thing about this fucking game, is how it's like entirely dependent on the community, but they created enough of a experience for people to literally be invested in it. And I just hope that it stays that way. Like, I hope they continue to add forms of content that are subtle to keep people interested. You know what I mean? But I hope they're not massive forms of content constantly. I hope it stays at a subtle level, and then every now and again, like Imperfecta said, they bring another faction, or they generate a situation where the factions are at war with each other, as well as what's going on now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those things, those big things every now and again, but subtle additives, like the, you know, we lost Mellabon Creek, so then, like, I don't know, in a week or two we get a major order where it's like, take Mellabon Creek back. Like, oh shit, like that's fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's gonna unite the community once again, or whatever.
Exactly. And being cool part of the community as well comes down to, like, you know, how you like to play, how you like to customize. For example, Imperfecta,
right?
You know, let's use the fucking flamethrower, dude, and people shit on the flamethrower for no good reason. And Imperfecta,
but then he's over here racking up kills.
Yeah. If you want to talk about the flamethrower right now would be a good time, because we're on the subject of customization and kind of like, you know, not listening to the community.
Yeah.
So
right.
About the flamethrower. Obviously, burning things is fun. State-sponsored arsonist here. So,
oh my god! Listen, all right, dollar store arsonist.
So, we were just fucking around. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna bring the flamethrower to the bots just because. Why not? Funny.
See how it does. See how it does. See what it does.
And it shredded the bots. Like, I was like dumbfounded by how good it was against the robots.
Even kills the Hulks, bro. This shit's crazy.
Like, it's
fucking crazy, man.
So much tick damage. And you'd think, hey, these are bots. Like, it's gonna do next to nothing. Oh god, was I wrong?
Well, fucking fire doesn't care about armor. Now you just turn into a giant canister that can, you know, conduct heat internally at a higher rate than fucking without it. So it's interesting. I've also noticed, like, shit like the fucking, I really enjoy the fact that, like, there's specific parts of the bodies that you can shoot to kill. But the flamethrower actually does not care about any of that. It just fucking destroys everything. Anything. Yeah. It's I've literally I used one in a pinch that was on the ground because I completely ran out of ammo. Turned around, used it on a charger, obliterated the charger. Fan-fucking-tastic. I was like, wow.
Speaking of bugs, I just fell with my drop.
You guys keep going for a second.
He's looking at me like nothing happened.
Yeah. See, and that's what I like about the customization, because like even though you have haters, right, in the community of like, oh, this is garbage, you can't use this, you gotta stop using this. And I see it on YouTube all the time. It's like, dude, just play what you want. And you'll find your niche. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some weapons that are kind of shitty, but like if you learn how to use it really well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a good gun and you just found the right way to use it. I do think they need to rework guns to make some of them a little bit better, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it just comes down to like, hey, I'm going to customize this how I want to play. I'll communicate with you guys, and like maybe we can build off of each other to kind of do some different things here and there. But just the amount of like, hey, you know, I'm playing how I want to play in this game, as long as I contribute, it's fine. You know?
Yeah, well, it's about completing. It doesn't even matter how you complete.
Yeah, and yeah, except for extraction. Extraction's a bitch. in level 6 and up.
So I did find a guaranteed way to finish extraction pretty easy.
Yeah, I looked into some other ways. It's basically you have some friends, so you have 3 people go away from the extraction points, and you kind of make as much noise as you can and start fighting the bots and keep them away.
That's what
one guy goes to the other spot where the people are, and then you start having them open up doors.
Constantly
in the same area,
rotating it
off. And everything else just gets aggroed to the other 3 guys. However, if those 3 guys all die, then it's fucked. The mission is over at that point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like me and Bo were running a tier 7 extract, and he looked out like when we spawned in, he was like, "Oh, there's a medallion thing out there." Okay, so he just ran there. He's like, "I'll be back," and he just like took off. And I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" And then he's like, "Oh, drop pods are coming in on top of me," and I was like, just stay gone. And he was like, I'm just gonna run around the entire map. Like, he just did a big circle around everything constantly, and I just didn't call in mortars. I didn't call in nothing. All I did was hit the buttons, and then we finished it. I called in extraction. He kept running around, dropped mortars, dropped all our turrets and everything, and then as that was destroying shit, he just made a beeline for the bird. I was like, that is fucking easy. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck? Like, I was like, oh, we could have done a level 9. Like,
yeah, you just gotta find a good strategy in the game. That's what I really like about it. Is once you kind of find a good strat, you know, you can stick with it. You can, or just, you know, just play as a team. It'll work out.
Or you could just be like me and live in chaos. Like, I enjoy it that way sometimes. Drop a 380 on my position. I'm just like, here we go.
Good luck, everybody.
welcome to content.
And then okay, so besides customization options and whatnot that we got through right now, so like. Let's talk maps a little bit. We kind of touched on maps a little bit here, but the procedurally generated maps, right? So like in a, you know, you just said like, hey, I like chaos and stuff, and that's me. I love fucking chaos.
Yeah, I love it.
I think that's what draws me in. Is that it's not exactly the same. It could be a little bit the same, but it's not exactly the same experience every time. It could be vastly different depending on how you play the game. If you panic, you can grab a bunch of bugs, a bunch of automatons, and now you just have full siege war on your ass. So I think they did a really good job with you know, procedurally generating some of these maps, even down to where you can't see things. Also adds like an extra flair to it. Finding the samples, like, you know, one of my buddies like makes a joke because the dick rock, we found it, you know, the veiny rock that has the super samples, like even small stuff like that where it's like not going to be exactly in the same spot, and then even if you
up on the screen,
and you will even see one of those, and guess what, you got a bug nest on it, and you just wasted like a minute running over there to find nothing. So I think they did a great job on it. As far as the maps go, Earth, how do you feel about the maps?
I think it creates a new experience every time as far as tactics go. From a tactical standpoint, right? Me being in the military, I like playing a lot of fucking milsim shit and everything. I enjoy finding the best way to utilize everything that game offers me to create a situation where I'm going to succeed. Like planning shit out. There's a lot of times like when we're sitting there looking at where we want to deploy, I think about it, right? I'm like, okay, if we drop here, we can do this rotation around the map to complete everything and extract in a fluid motion. Sometimes we have to drop in the middle. But the way that they set the map up, you know what I mean? You can drop in on the other side of a rock where you're safe, but just over that rock is a large fucking, you know, nest for the Terminids, right? So it's just like, okay, so if we drop in, we need to put artillery over the rock, call in our support, and get the fuck out, right? Like, it creates a new, like, tactical experience half the time, and it also dictates how you maneuver the map and complete the objectives that you got going, because you don't know where everything's going to be on the map. Hell, sometimes like all of the secondary objectives are completely surrounded by fucking outposts, You know what I mean? And other times they're off into the far side of the map and there's nothing out there, but they're over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you don't know where they're at too. I think they should add in at least one known location of an addition, or like a tactical asset on the map. So like the artillery or the radar sites. I think you should know ahead of time, like where those are going to be at every time. Because I know like sometimes like it'll tell you like where one of them might be, but like it's typically like the helipad that you got to go stand on for like 2 minutes or something like that. But if they put the artillery pieces, like important ones like that on the map, or you know where they're at because we already controlled the map or the planet, so we should know.
Not only
You know
that,
what I mean?
you know, this is the fucking super Earth military we're talking about. You think they wouldn't know where their own fucking positions are?
That's my point. Is like if we knew ahead of time, like we would be able to make a tactical decision as a team to be like, okay, there's an artillery position here on the map. It's in a really fucked up position. There's a shitload of enemies, but if we can get there and immediately take out everything around and control that objective, we're going to be able to complete the mission with, you know, a better asset on our side than just sitting there rushing around the map to look for everything. Like we shouldn't be searching for shit. Now, as far as the automatons are concerned, like you said, like they have the jamming radars that they put up. That shit will actually remove our ability to fucking see where shit is on the map. So maybe we don't know exactly where shit is. You know what I mean? Or it's not a responding, you know, beacon, so we don't know if it's even there or not.
It feels more canon.
But yeah, it does feel a little bit more canon on the automaton side, but on the fucking bug side, like, I mean, there's ways they could do it. I think rather than it just being a abandoned outpost with like some bugs or some robots on it, like I think the enemy should either be like utilizing it, the automatons, right? Like instead of us going and destroying their radar site, maybe it's ours that they've cultivated and we go take it back, right? And then use it on the map. Or the bugs, like, oh, so now they have an outpost surrounding an artillery position because they're not going to use it, but it shuts it down because, you know, they're literally spawning on it. So we have to drop in, take it back, and then use it. Like, sometimes I feel like those secondary assets, we don't know where they're at, but once we find them, they're easy to control. And it presents a massive tactical advantage on the map. And I think they could introduce a more, but I mean, like, it produces a massive tactical advantage for ourselves on the map. And I think the way that they're letting us have access to that is a little too simplistic, and it doesn't create a tactical situation for us. It's more like, oh, well, there it is, and then we just go
stumble
get it.
upon it. You know, it's like, oh, well, we don't have time for this now.
Yes, it should be an actual secondary objective, more like important.
So, something I feel like they need to do, especially like the artillery pieces, I feel like they should be destructible. I feel like or the bots should be able to outright destroy those if they decide.
Just like the hell bombs. Yeah, just like a hell bomb. They can destroy a hell bomb. Like, come on. We take out the fucking... we can destroy their shit. You know what I mean? Like this, you know, the automatrons, we can destroy their fucking outpost. Yeah. Right, that has the satellites or the radar on it. Or like the bugs, we could take out their fucking tree. But like, you know what I mean? Dude, and Admiral, you're 100% accurate. The fucking artillery makes an entire difference on the map half the time.
Oh yeah.
And like just like Imperfecta said earlier in the stream, there's fucking the mini nukes, dude. You can come across an artillery piece that has 3 fucking mini nukes and 2 high yield explosives, or it's just all EMS and smoke. Like you know what I mean? Which is fine, but like at the same time, it's like it's not critical enough for us to, you know what I mean, always worry about. Sometimes we don't even give a shit. We're just like, no, we're gonna just complete the fucking mission. It's not as important. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I feel like they could turn it into a bit more of a necessity, or make it feel more of a necessity than you know what I mean, than it is.
Just an afterthought.
I have one quick thing to say about one of our previous topics. I just did more testing with the spear. You can dump the entire mag in all 4 shots if you do it quick enough.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Let's lock on the same target.
Fucking ridiculous. You're talking about the javelin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
On a Bile Titan or what?
On a Bile Titan, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't hit that shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
If
and you don't
hit
hit the legs.
yeah.
Right? Or you mean if it's just accurately on the same position?
If you just keep shooting it on its body and it's not hitting the same spots, you can dump your whole fucking spear on it.
Yeah.
And
Yep. As long as you are constantly firing, as soon as you are able to,
you reload,
you will always be locked onto the same target.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's actually a good way to get around that bug, to be completely honest. With the lock-on bug that they're having. Which they need to fucking fix, for sure. They need to fix that.
Well, I think it's kind of a negative, because then you're just wasting some more spear ammo. Like, you kind of have to, I feel like you kind of have to time it and try and hope the god hits the head so it gets rid of it faster.
I mean, typically that's like the goal, but like, there's been times where like that bitch is walking away from me and I'm like, all right, I'm just putting 2 on his back, and I'll dump one, and then as I reload it and run around the side again and lock on it, and shoot it in the side again, and he'll die if you hit him in the exact same spot. That's typically what I've experienced. But like he's saying, like, sometimes you don't have a choice, dude. Because the game is not, the game is so good that it outweighs the fact that it's not as balanced, but the game is not 100% balanced. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's not unbalanced and very buggy, but we'll get more into the negatives later. So with all that said, and Imperfecta, how do you, I haven't asked you, but how do you feel about the procedurally generated maps?
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I don't like that there's not enough stuff on the map.
Okay.
Yeah, again, you can bring up the fact that the company wasn't expecting the game to be this big, but even then, look at smaller companies that are out there. Look at
how much content do they bring to the table? Yeah.
Look at BattleBit.
That shit is amazing.
Yeah, true.
Company that's even smaller than this. Like, they didn't have server issues on launch. They didn't expect to have anywhere near the amount of players on launch that they had. But
Yeah,
they still stress tested their servers and did all their backend shit for well over 1 million players.
Yeah.
Like, that's why
that game is amazing.
When people when people sit here and talk about, yeah, but this is a small company, their previous game didn't do that well, I don't listen to them. I don't listen to their arguments in that sense. Like, you're still a game company. You have Sony fuck around money backing you up. You should already instantly fucking be prepared for shit like this at that point.
Yeah, I mean, but Sony's been laying off hella people.
Are we
not trying to
No,
defend them or anything, but I'm just saying, like, the gaming industry, it's been weird.
Oh yeah. You know what, Admiral? We did talk about that earlier, but what do you think about that? Like, Imperfecta mentioned earlier about how, like, we don't have urban combat, but we're in a world, or we're in a galaxy where we actually control those planets, so they should be developed. What do you think about that, Admiral? I see it in the chat, bro. Because we were talking about that. Imperfecta brought up a great idea, like, they should definitely implement urban combat. On certain, like, you know, every now and again you get a mission where you're gonna drop in and it's just like, oh, you know, rescue these civilians from these buildings or whatever the fuck, like, you know what I mean, or exfil people or something, like retrieve an asset or whatever, right? I agree, there should be, but we don't have it, right? I haven't heard anybody talk about that either online. I mean, I could be wrong, but I haven't seen or heard anything on it.
I think that's
if you join like their Reddit, which I know Reddit cringe, but a lot of people on the Reddit posts about this game are like, I don't feel like I'm actually defending anything. There's nothing on these planets to really defend. Oh yeah, there's the extract missions, but
correct.
Other than that, what are we doing here?
Admiral brings up a great point. Massive cities aren't that great, but like an urban combat is definitely something that would be a plus. Like a settlement would be great. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like a medium-sized settlement, like. You drop on the map, there's streets and there's small buildings, and you know what I mean, and maybe one large building that's the objective. You know what I mean? But not like excessively like a massive, like not New York City.
I think it would come down to pathing for the AI. It's a lot easier to have bugs walk through the big wide open spaces. Same thing with automatons versus these small corridors.
Well, all you have to do is add in the same. So, like, okay, for instance, the mission that's going on the screen right now from this clip, you're on a defensive position right there, right? So the way the buildings and everything are set up right there, they would just, and all the buildings are destructible, right? So you could drop in on a building. You've also got the rocks and everything that are set up right there too. That's all it really is. It's just buildings randomly set. You know what I mean? In a settlement style thing in space, right? That's really it. It wouldn't take
that'd be cool.
Basically, Kentucky, throw a Walmart in some random places with some small town. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all it really would be. But it would create an urban combat. Like, we don't need to go in the buildings, but having buildings rather than just foliage would definitely create a new environment and a new style of tactic and gameplay and how you're going to accomplish missions, because you don't have the cover of a fucking forest. You know what I mean? Or large rock formations and shit. You gotta rely on buildings that are destructible.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I
even
mean?
today I was playing with Destruction, and he got up on top of one of those little huts or buildings or whatever, and just the fact that the charger just fucking blew through that and the fucking fire canister thing, he just fell right down to the
Right.
ground, and he was like, "Holy shit, that was crazy!" If they had that
Yeah.
aspect with multi-tier buildings, that would be fantastic. My thing is that I think that they would
I'm a
have to
research
do.
outpost with no settlements. Yeah.
They would have to do a lot of reworking in the background or the backend code to be able to enable that, and then to even just have bugs run into the building with you. Like, can you imagine you're in a hallway trying to fucking defend
Oh,
yourself?
I
You
meant
can't
not
jump
going
out.
inside. I didn't mean going inside
Okay.
the building, but having more buildings to make
Yeah.
it feel like you're in a settlement. 'Cause,
Okay, yeah, I get you.
there's no need to go inside the buildings. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe they need to make one that's a small, like the bottom floor of a large building that's not destructible, because that's the actual objective that you go into and hit a terminal, but then you go back outside. Like right here on the map, right? You're looking at the door that opens up into a small garage space or whatever. That opens up, it's connected to a larger building. You go in, you fucking touch what you're supposed to touch, and you get the fuck back out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That'd be nice.
Like, it wouldn't be bad. Yeah, it wouldn't be difficult. But then at the same time, like, it would create an environment where you feel more.
Like, hey,
It
they
feels
took
more
over
real,
our,
like,
our
we're
area.
actually-
Yeah.
Well, it'll also create a sense of urgency for us as players. Like Imperfecta was saying, like, the closer they get to Super Earth, it should be more settled planets, like not just manufactory planets, like where we're creating, the resources we need and shit. More like people live there. There's fucking playgrounds. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, this
that would
Yeah.
be intense. That would create a
That's
sense of urgency for us.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but dude, some of these players in this game are outright stupid. I'm sorry.
That's every game.
I just called in like 3 artillery pieces on these 4 Bile Titans, and the host just like straight up ran into it like he didn't see it.
And we got mad. Did he get mad or no?
I haven't been kicked yet, but I'm pretty sure he's getting pissed.
Oh my god.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good
That's what's
segue
up.
for us to go ahead and kind of talk about more about the community then.
Admiral brings up a good point. Like,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, that was some stuff we talked about, man. There is, if you really look into some of the shit, like, I mean, for the most part, we've all been trying to keep up on like what's going on in the game, but we're definitely fighting on the outskirts of our controlled systems. Like, they're not settled in because it's like the industrial section of a major city, right? Like, there's not really anybody living out there. That's just where work is. That's where we're producing oil, we're producing metals, that's why we have like the ore vein missions, and we have the pump missions and shit like that out there, and like, all those types of missions, and even the research mission, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not settled environment, it's industrial
Well, it's just like
environment.
a settled.
I'm going to disagree with that. Industrial areas are generally some of the most settled areas.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, like,
So-
what it is that's where we're working and shit. Like, I know what he's saying, but I think that's the environment that they're trying to create, is that we're using those spaces for just those purposes, where the people and everything are living on way more beautiful planets and more, you know what I mean?
I feel
Shit like that, where it's just pretty and there's not a whole lot of work. Like, and I've read into some of it where there's like there's planets that are like paradise, but nobody works there. It's just a paradise that people live on. But then there's planets like, some of our bug planets where it's nothing but manufacturing, like oil. You know what I mean?
Just left the game.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it makes sense, but at the same time, like, I agree, there should definitely be like major settled planets in each system that's like critical. You know what I mean? That's a critical planet. And then you've also got the manufacturing planets that are extremely critical.
Well, yeah,
You know what I
that's what I was trying to mean, like, kind of make a point earlier. Like, if you've played Starfield, I know you have, but like, you have Neon's. We have
I love that game.
I loved it too once I kind of lowered my expectations, but I'm not going to get into that a whole lot.
I agree that that's a whole. No, we're gonna have to do our own podcast.
We're gonna have to do that. Yeah, we'll do another one of that. But let me get to my point really quick. So basically, you have Neon City, like he's saying, and then you have your outposts. Like, you're on the planet and you see random outposts. We're dealing with more random outposts, like with the, okay, this is an industrial space specifically made for mining. and then we're not seeing the Neon City where people have been here for a long time,
Well,
and or like just not even Neon City, but like
think about
Atlantis or whatever.
exactly, and think about like they can create different biomes that we haven't seen yet either. It doesn't have to be on a planet's surface. It could be, like you said, like an Atlantis situation or a space station, a major space station that's big enough to where we can actually deploy to it and run missions on it,
or
because
a
it's
moon,
massive,
or a giant
or a
moon
moon
that has a space base
on a gas planet. Yeah. Which
that'd be
or
crazy.
like an actual moon, like where we are in like a zero atmosphere situation. You know what I mean? But I mean that would take some coding issues too, because then like how do you create the zero atmosphere feel? But like, and there's so many options too, and like an internal, like being in an internal structure of some kind is definitely gonna be difficult for this game.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if that's entirely.
I
I mean,
don't think it's
cool.
gonna be
It would be really hard. It would be really hard, especially if you're like, oh, I'm in a space station. Well, you don't have orbital strikes or anything. You can't call shit in. So you have to deploy with what you got. I mean, they would just create a situation where you deploy in with that assisted or that additional weapon. So like, if you're like, oh, I'm gonna bring a recoilless rifle, you just bring one. Like it just goes in with you, and that would be fine. But
that would change the game a lot.
You would have access to nothing else, and you'd be inside. But the enemies also wouldn't be as difficult either. You wouldn't have tanks. You wouldn't have Bile Titans. You may or may not have a charger depending on the size of the fucking space that you're gonna be in. Like, you know what I mean? That might, and it would definitely, like you said, like change the game a bit too. But it would be interesting. Like, it would be interesting. Or maybe, what about this? What do you think about this? So if you have a planet that we're trying to defend, right? Or maybe an offense, right? Whatever. And one of the options for the higher tier missions is just a space station. Like you have, every now and again it pops up, you know what I mean? Like it's random, like where they pop up the missions. Then they add one of those missions to a space station, and then you just have that one individual mission randomly. You know what I mean?
Where your call-ins are no longer like, hey, I can't just call it in. You have to go to a specific point to get your call-in.
Correct.
Or
or like you have to go to the armory and get a random weapon that may be available in that armory.
That would be a very difficult task on Extreme or something like that. You know,
it would definitely be intense.
I think it'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Or not bugs, sorry, automatons.
But yeah,
it would be really hard on automatons.
Driving back to the community side of the game, though, we do have all this camaraderie and stuff, and like Brotherhood, and everybody jokes about democracy and liberty. That's kind of the whole joke atmosphere of just like this super, like, it's super Earth. It is like super militarized. You have guys yelling out for liberty, like it's all like every couple of minutes, and it's hilarious. But then you have this dark side of the community. Where you have traders that come in and they will like just straight up kill you. They don't understand that samples are shared. Same thing with credits and medals, and they just kind of ruin it for us. Yeah, they're not paying attention
to the game. Yeah, that brings up my point. I was saying it earlier. You said super militaristic. It does not matter about like getting the how small the planets are, how there's like nothing on them. That makes no sense. That's the exact same way that this is.
Love you too, Lack.
Except in this case, we've taken over more planets in this version of the game than we have Halo. We should be able to have more citizens and shit on the map.
I agree.
I mean, there's nothing about this game other than the fact that the devs didn't expect anything from this game to go good.
Oh my god, Lack! Thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
If I drop onto a planet, it should be a populated planet no matter what.
You're amazing.
Do not care what the argument is against that.
Oh, Astro got a free sub. So did Rock. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you for subbing.
What's up, Cabbage? Hey, how's it going, brother?
How
you doing, bro?
We're talking about
Helldivers today.
This entire game is basically about the American Manifest Destiny.
Oh yeah.
Every planet should be populated. We should not be, oh, you're on the outskirts of a city. Okay, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If they're we're fighting on the outskirts of a city, we've already lost the city.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes no sense. Like that entire argument earlier about that to me makes no sense. You should always be fighting on a populated planet.
Yeah.
It was with Halo. Look at Halo. Halo, for example, look at Reach.
Unless we're taking a planet that we didn't control, you know what I mean?
If it was a planet that we had no control on in the first place, okay, I can understand that.
That would be an interesting concept too, because then we're like battling for like a new planet. Like that's epic.
If it's a planet that we've already controlled, that planet, it's going to be populated. There's going to be major cities all over that planet. It does not matter what type of planet it is, be it a mining planet, be it a fucking oil resource planet, or a research planet. It's going to be
Nice,
heavily
bro.
populated.
Get on your grind, dude. Yeah, of course. Get on your grind, cabbage.
That's unfortunately just what makes no sense about this game.
Yeah, and I think that's just like as time goes, things are gonna change. I think they started out and they were like, we're ready to set this game out. It's gonna be a really cool experience, and now that they have a real strong actual player base, they're like, oh shit, we were not prepared for that style of setup, so now we have to, you know what I mean? Really ramp shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think they will. I honestly think they're
will.
gonna make this game grow.
So I'm
They
fucking
still-
tired. Well, come hang out and vibe with us, cabbage. Fall asleep with the stream on, dude.
They're
take care
still
of
in
you.
that mindset that this game is like the first game. Not many people want to play it, despite the fact that it's been proven. Oh,
I agree.
That a lot of people want to play it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
A lot of people do want to play this fucking game. It's just like there's a lot of people that want to get into this game alone, and there's a lot of people that want to get in this game with a group. There's a lot of people that want to take it serious. There's a lot of people that want to like chill and like just have fun with it. And there's also a weird side of it that's like interesting that I've seen on like Reddit and stuff that they're like they didn't consider, but like people that are coming into this and they like have communities and discords and shit, and they're like role playing this game. You know what I mean? Like Arma players are coming in and role playing this game, and it's like that's actually really cool. You know what I mean? That people are taking this game and jumping in aggressively like that. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love the
Get over
different
to the
aspects
music and
of
go
the
to sleep.
movies.
Good night, broskies. Love you,
Have
dog.
a good night, bro. Thanks for coming by.
Good night, cabbage.
And yeah, and then you have Imperfecta, who will punch you off a cliff just because it's
Yeah, that's
it's
what I'm
fun.
saying. Like, our group, we play it for the content. Let's
Yeah.
be completely honest. We
Oh,
play
no.
this game for the content.
Oh no, I'm being overran. Let me run to the nearest teammate and knock him down so I can get away later.
Or you're like, you know what? I swear to God, Imperfecta sits there and he's like, what would be funnier? Do I push Purple because he's just going to try to push me? Or do I push Reaper twice knowing he's going to drop 380s on our position? Because he's just going to
starting
have
in 5
enough and be
minutes.
like, you know what? Fuck it. Here we go. You know what I mean? Like, here we go.
Yeah. it's
That's
great,
just the
yeah.
best way to do it.
I love the diversity. The only thing that I don't
100%.
now
Wait, you
just
said you have ads coming up when?
yeah, coming up in like about like T minus 4 minutes 40 seconds. But
Alright, man. We should take a
but-
break on that part.
yeah, but that's let's kind of just touch base on the dark side just for a couple minutes here. So like I really do like the good parts of the community, the role playing, the camaraderie,
Yeah, it's
derping
cool.
around, being funny. What I don't like is the people killing other people, and then you have people
On
that
purpose,
will
yeah.
and there is just general courtesies that you should know, right? You could drop down an ammo
Yeah.
supply pack. There's 4 of you. You're all nearby it. Don't grab
Everybody
it.
gets one.
Everybody
Yeah.
gets one. Everybody, unless
Talk
it's
about
supply
it first, yeah.
unless it's supply pack, which is another great tool to use, by the way, in the game. And I feel even in the higher levels, if somebody's running a supply pack,
Oh, dude, it's so
keep that man
important,
alive.
man.
You know,
Yeah.
just but like,
Put yourself in front of him. Like,
yeah, yeah,
sacrifice is
exactly.
actual, like, sacrifice in this game, and I'm not even making a joke. Making
Yeah.
that choice to be like, if Imperfecta. Do you remember when we were soloing together on the an Impossible trying to get me unlocked for 8, right? And
your logic
dropped
with that
in.
sentence made no sense.
What are you talking about? No, me and you were playing
We
on
together.
Impossible. Yeah, me and you were playing together to unlock my level 8 for me, right?
Soloing together.
You know what I mean? Soloing together. But no, what happened was like me and him were like right there at the objective, right? But we were cut off from the objective because there's way too many fucking enemies. And Imperfecta, I called him in and I was trying to back off, right, and pull him away. And instead of like him driving behind them to go and hit the objective, instead he dropped on top of a rock, started firing down, took away their fucking aggro, stood on top of the fucking rock, and just stayed there until he ran completely out of ammo, and then just dived in with fucking artillery bugs and everything else to die and kill as many as he could, while I did the rest of the objective. Like, sacrifice, bro. Like, for the betterment of the mission, right? Like, that shit's intense sometimes.
And I love
It's almost on par with 6 Days in Fallujah.
yeah, so I love that idea. I love when people come together to do that kind of stuff. And I feel like this game really kind of works in on that and like makes you, dude, I've jumped in front of fucking grenades because I knew my homie was gonna get hit and I had the shield pack and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll take the hit.
I'm gonna live. Yeah,
I'll live. You're not. So I'm gonna try and make sure that you're good. So like it's just moments like that that I really like. I feel like people just kind of need to hone in on that. Understand that there's certain things that you kind of just do as a courtesy in the game, you know, and just kind of like play with it. This game is not a PvP game. It should not be played as.
It is an actual. It is actual co-op. It is a real co-op. Like with Imperfecta running javelin strikes, and I'm completely out of javies, and he's trying to take out 3 fucking different Bile Titans. So while he's focused, I'm just healing him and killing shit around him. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not as important as him right now. He needs to survive and be able to focus without being interrupted. So what do? Just start taking damage and fucking killing shit. Like it's so without how to communicate about it. You know what I mean? And shit goes back and forth. You know.
Man, I wish I was streaming right now for everybody.
Go live.
I don't want to. I just got juggled until death by like 5 chargers.
Twitch.tv/Imperfecta.
Definitely check him out when he's streaming. He's fucking fantastic.
And he never streams. He never streams, but we want him to.
That's not true. I have maybe 20 minutes worth of stream time.
Okay, let me go find you real fast. I'm gonna go close up and advertise you.
But yeah, okay, so we're gonna hit an ad break here in one more minute. I just do want to touch base on the ending closure about the community and stuff. And basically, is like even on the negative things, if you are somebody that does kill people in that game, you will get hunted down. And I know this is not a PvP game, and I said that before, but the fact that people are willing to be like, for example, Gantz, the demon guy, that asshole, like, you know, I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny as fuck. People are just like, oh yeah, you know, that guy, I'm not gonna kick him. I'm gonna make his life living hell in this game.
Oh, yeah. That's the nice thing I do like about Gantz. At least he's not an asshole at the beginning of the mission. He does not start being an asshole until the very end when you're about to extract. He will help
everything's been completed
until the end.
Yeah, but it's like, and everybody looks for different style of content and everything too. So it really comes down to, like, I've seen some of the people in our communities, like that we all play with, or I play with in the community that I've met through the stream and shit. Some of them will get butthurt, not completely butthurt, not like pissed off, but they'll get a little butthurt about certain situations happening, and then it's just like, okay, cool. So I know when I play with this person, I need to be this way. Or if I play with that person, I need to be that way. Or don't let this Imperfecta pushing me over cliffs and shit while I'm trying to shoot a javelin shot at a fucking Titan. And he just knocks me down because it's funny. Like, I gotta know, like, who I'm playing with. And I think a lot of gamers need to understand, like, there's different types of gamers. And you do have to be a bit... What's the word? Accepting. No, you just need to be accepting of how everybody plays. It's a fucking video game. It's not. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It might feel like it. You know what I mean? Because, like, I mean, it is real life for us. Because, you know, Helldivers and shit. It's important. Like, we're trying to win the war. But, like, democracy is life.
Manage democracy. Get it right.
Manage democracy in bulk. In the form of ICBMs.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and run an ad break here, and then we're gonna just do a quick little BRB, so that way we can stretch our cheeks for a second. I gotta take a piss, and then
smoke a stove.
Yeah, and then we'll be back here. When we do come back, we're gonna be talking about the new features and improvements that they should be adding, personal experience, and if we do want to add any of that, and we'll go over questions with the audience if anybody is still here, and then
let's talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that stuff. All right, we'll come back in a minute here. Okay, guys, welcome back. We're back. Thanks for just chilling with us.
I'm back. Hi, Daddy.
And then Destruction made a good point. Some people get upset, I feel, because they don't have enough time to play the game as much. So when they do play, they just want to make progress. So yeah,
but it's like a 40-minute to 30-minute game time every time, and you have 3 missions to accomplish. I get that.
I can understand
the feeling of the inability to complete as much as you feel like you should be able to.
Yeah, and on top of that, just the team killing at the end of the game when you're trying to make progress, and you need that extra XP, or just, you know, and like somebody's running around. I can understand why that would be really.
You have a goal, but you're with a random crew.
Yeah, so I get that, man. So yeah, and then so now that we're through that, we could talk a little bit more about what's kind of to come. We have mech suits. We theorize. One of those
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce, brother.
But yeah, so basically, so what we're seeing so far is that there's been a couple of leaks about the new weapons. We've seen a couple of leaks, or the dev talk about, like, you know, running around with a sniper, maybe with a silencer on it. Hopefully that's the real thing too. The one thing that we're particularly excited about is the mech suits that are coming out right now.
Oh my god, I have not looked into that, but as much as we've talked about it, dude, there's gonna be a lot to unpack with that when it does happen.
Oh yeah, so like not just the team killing, because like people suck at aiming with normal stuff right now, but the mech suits themselves will be fucking amazing. I honestly think that would be a really great addition. Yeah, it will definitely up the survivability of diving out there, especially in Helldiver mode. And
what do you think the capabilities are gonna be? Like, is it gonna just be like something you have to control, or is it gonna be like an automated thing if you're not utilizing it?
So from what I can tell, you have to go in it, so it's Gundam, basically. Yeah. And then I've seen two different versions of the mech suit already. I've seen the Gatling gun version, or basically where you have like this Gatling gun, and then you have rockets on the other arm. I don't know how they're gonna really utilize the controls for that, but that seems interesting. And then it looks like
without aim. Yeah.
It looks like the other one has like autocannons on both arms. So that would be really interesting. Yeah, so if they do
armor piercing, yeah, you could take on a Bile Titan with that shit.
Exactly. So what I'm thinking is that we're all stacked up on requisitions after like level 40. You kind of like got everything you want, and I'm hoping it's a requisition by it's got to be, and then you're gonna have different versions of that, and I'm hoping that along with that it comes with other support weapons. Imperfecta mentioned earlier that they're gonna come out with another War Bond season thing, whatever. That would be really interesting as well, and I hope
weapon types and armor sets, and roles maybe even for those armor sets.
Exactly. Yeah. So once they fix the armor bug, you'll definitely be able to fit into some roles a little bit better. So on top of that, we also have other factions. We still have the cyborgs that we haven't seen. I'm assuming they're going to be harder than the automatons, of course, and then the celestials too. Yeah. You have two blank spots.
Going to be interesting.
Yeah, you have two blank spots on the Warfronts. If you've played the game, you'll see in the map that like you have automatons on the left and the termins. And then you have people on the termins on the right, and then you have the top and bottom that are completely blank, and I think that's going to be for the other factions. It's got to be, right? I hope they release
tater tots, but baby hash browns. Yeah, I agree.
So what excites you about this, man? What makes you happy when you hear
what is going to be the new introduction of enemies that could possibly come in to compensate to add additional difficulty and make it a necessity to have a mech suit on your team? That's what excites me. Like we talked about, I don't know how far we're gonna go into it, but the fucking worms, dude.
The worms,
brother.
The centipede
something
worm.
Yeah, the fucking massive enemy, something that's just so fucking difficult to take down, and now you have a mech suit that's capable of it. It's still difficult. It adds that that still sense of urgency, but at the same time we're given something incredible. We use it and don't maybe they introduce it and they don't introduce a new enemy type within the factions for each of the factions right away, and we're like, wow, we feel fucking pretty strong. 2 weeks in, we get to the next fucking quote-unquote season, and that new enemy comes in, and now all of a sudden, it's almost a necessity to have it just to fucking fight whatever the fuck new shit they bring in. Like, that's gonna be interesting to see. Like, if they have plenty of fucking shit from the previous game to, generate that sense of urgency and necessity for the shit that we already have in the game. But I think it's gonna be interesting as hell, especially with some of the more airborne assets that the enemies have from the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've seen a couple of
sick ass situations. Yeah.
I've seen a couple of the enemy types. Like my friend is like all about this game. If you see him in my stream, he's Daco Medic, and he's really into it. And he's been looking at different enemy types if you thought the fucking Chargers were bad, there's some worse.
There's some way worse shit in the game. Yes. There's way worse in the game.
I feel
that mech's gonna be incredible.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be super helpful. And on top of that, if they just rework some of the guns, I understand the game is meant to be hard, right? And I'm not saying make it easier by making the guns more powerful. I'm just saying make the guns make sense. Make the guns feel like
all viable. Make them all viable options.
Exactly.
But it just depends on how you play. Like if you're a hard charging like high DPS guy like me, where I enjoy putting down hate on the enemy at all times, I'm dropping bombs everywhere. I'm not going to be picking up a sniper rifle. You know what I mean? But Imperfecta likes to play sneaky. Give him a fucking sniper rifle where he could stand right next to me while I'm blasting some dude in the face with a chart or the breacher, and he's back over here and just shoots an enemy right past me, and it fucking takes him out too. And he can actually support me with a role that makes sense. Like, that's going to be epic. But then on top of that, we got, you know what I mean? If I have a fucking mech and I like to drop bombs and shit, now we create a new instance of where, like, rather than us, like, being like, I'm going to sacrifice myself knowing I'm going to die and just try to survive. Oh, shit, we're being overrun. Drops a mech, pushes the enemy back, and he's actually doing a last stand, but on his own, and can viably throw his life away with an actual success of everyone else accomplishing their goal. You know what I mean? Because, like, right now, if you were like, oh, the best option right now in a situation, like, perfect examples in this clip right now, like, everybody's getting fired on right now, but you guys need to get to that extraction point. The rest of the team could push that extraction point. You can hold the enemy back for a minute, but we don't have a viable option to make that work. I think that mech's gonna make a major change. Like, look at all these dudes that just dropped in on top of us. Like, fucking, it's entirely possible that you drop in a mech, jump in the suit, and you fucking fight them back, and you push back the enemy. You know what I mean? You can go toe to toe with a charger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's gonna be sick.
Versus like, hey, I have to literally focus on, oh, hey, there's this fucking Hulk here. Let me try and focus on him.
Get around him.
But I have like shitloads of chainsaw dudes, and like I'm fucking
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. And
going
like
toe to toe with a fucking just right here on the clip right now. You're running away from that Hulk. But if you had that mech suit, you would go toe to toe, and you wouldn't be afraid to do it. And it would be a viable option. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you just died right there. Like, and mech suit, dude. It's hard for me to say anything else.
Yeah,
or like we said earlier, reworking that shield, dude. Dropping that big shield, reworking it to where it can withstand some damage, and then dropping an artillery strike on top of yourself with the knowledge, knowing like, I will survive it. It's gonna take out everything around me. I'm gonna survive, but it's gonna take out the shield, and I might get a little hurt, but I'm not gonna die.
Yeah, I feel like that shield just drops way too quickly, in my opinion. I think
it's not strong enough.
Yeah,
it's not strong enough.
Yeah,
mech suit, that's gonna be sick. I would love to see them implement a maybe one or two more like weapon platforms, kind of like they have the HMG gun emplacement. Maybe one or two different ones. Like, we have those lasers that are in the game that you can actually utilize, like having maybe some of those. That would be epic. It's not going to have armor piercing, but it's going to be able to chop down a bunch of fucking dudes. Actually improving that HMG emplacement, because that thing is firing 50 caliber rounds. It should have no problem going through a charger's armor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shit like that. Or like a rocket. Like, okay, so we have the recoilless rifle, right?
Yeah.
And a recoilless rifle emplacement wouldn't be a bad option on a defensive mission and shit, where you sit on that, you fire and reload, but it's stationary. You know what I mean? It's going to be able to knock down some big fucking enemies. It's stationary, so it does have its drawbacks. Like, you can't move, so you gotta, you know what I mean, pick the correct emplacement and defend that person while they're doing it. But like, it would be incredibly good to see that. It would be pretty strong and effective. Maybe some newer, or not newer, but like reworks on a lot of the stratagems too are going to be pretty important. Not just like the shield, but
I think if they rework some stuff and stop making it so that way it feels like, oh, these are just useless things that I have now. Like, I feel like that would really help the game.
Game equipment, equipment, that doesn't need to be a thing in this game for sure. Having all around equipment.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like, oh, okay, you know, you get the Gatling gun, and now the other gun is just why even call it in unless you just need an extra turret? And then
hell, that would even be cool as fuck too. Calling in a support weapon that's just a Gatling gun. It's two-handed. You can't run with it. You have to
fucking
walk
mini
slow
gun.
with it.
Yeah.
You can't aim with it, but it has a fucking radical, so you could fucking make sure you're firing in the correct direction, like the rest of the guns have. But that would be gnarly. Like shit like that would be sick. And I think they're gonna come out with a bunch of that shit too. I think it's just gonna take some time.
Yeah, the thing that I want them to avoid though is like I understand there is, you know, before level 6 and then after level 6 equipment, and it really feels like there is a lot of stuff that is just useless now once you get at level 6. And
they need to get rid of it.
I don't like that. I don't
either. I think everything should be viable.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if they rework some stuff, it'd be great. Like especially guns like the Dominator and stuff. It's good. Add more ammo to it or something. There's just something to I don't need it to be like a fucking overpowered
SMGs.
Yeah, weapon. But at the same time, there's so many times there's like, okay, well, why not just go back to the breaker? And I don't think that should be.
Or you just do go back to the breaker because you're like, okay, I'm sick and tired of like losing right now, so I'm gonna go back to the breaker so that way I can win a mission. Like it's like, well, fuck. Like I've had a couple times where I'm soloing and I bring in my fucking. I'm deciding on, okay, what's the difficulty? What am I gonna run into? Do I need the Javi or am I just gonna bring the recoilless rifle and call it a day? You know what I mean? And then I make my decision based on that, and I'm like, why can't I just bring the fucking, you know what I mean? And then the incendiary rounds. That's a fuckload of fun on my assault rifle, and then call in an anti-material rifle, and now I've got the best of both worlds. I could take out some pretty heavy shit with my main weapon, and now I've got an anti-material rifle that can break through a fucking Charger's armor.
But then you get to level 6, and now you're like, okay, well, I can't run that.
I can't hurt him at all. Yeah, I can't. You can't even hurt a Charger with that fucking gun. It's just, it's not worth it. So it's like, I agree. Like, I think everything should be a viable option. I think they need to refocus their effort on the usability of everything that they've given us, and I don't think I think right now they're just trying to make sure that the game can run smooth and that there's no more issues and shit, and then I think they're going to start bringing in some heavy content like new weapon types and reworking weapons. I don't think the Charger needs to be reworked, or Breacher I don't think that needs to be reworked. I think it's fine, but I think if everything else is Breaker, but if they leave it alone and then they, you know what I mean, like increase the effectiveness of some of the other guns and shit, it's going to be useful, but people are going to want to use the other ones as well. Like if you can fucking do the same amount of damage with your scout rifle, you know, at a mid-range, or you get the counter sniper, right, and you are able to drop bodies from a distance, you're going to want to use it, but you're not going to get up close with it. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to be as effective. You're not going to be fucking able to sit there and aim and take aim and shoot the shit that you need to shoot. It's going to make a difference in gameplay. I think it's important.
I think so too, and I think this game is very promising. I really do. I do hope that they keep working on this. And if you're worried about the hype train dying on this game, and that's what's like kind of preventing you from buying it, just don't worry about it. Like even if
it's coming,
like the hype train dies, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about hype. Play the game to have fun. It's a fun game at the end of the day.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can have
friends.
fun. Yeah, with friends. I have fun with randos sometimes.
Even
like
solo,
it's a 50-50 chance. But like
it really is. You don't know if you're gonna get some like sweaty dry hard, some brand new fucking person, or you're gonna get somebody that has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that really adds to the fun of the game, you know. But of course, there's some toxic people here and there, and there's always toxic people. But I feel like this game in general, there are some really nice people on this game.
Yeah,
and you're always
no new friends in this game for sure.
Yeah, and you're always gonna have the die-hard fans of Helldivers 1 that's always gonna be in this community as well. And even if you're not
for the community.
Yeah, and the one thing that I feel like a lot of live service games, or like some games, especially in the competitive zone, is like, okay, well, there's skill gaps. I don't think there's that much of a skill gap in this game. I feel like you can join in at level 1 and have your homie that's level 50, and you can still enjoy the game together. Even if he's running the lower levels with you just to help you out, he's still fighting bugs with you, and you're still having a really good time. And I think the game does an excellent job on making you feel like, even if you're just starting off, you're gonna do fine.
I think the game does a good job of creating a sense where your skill gap does not impede your ability to enjoy the game because there's 9 tiers of difficulty in the game. You don't have to play at Hell Dive. You can play it challenging. You can never leave the medium zones below challenging. You could just stay down there. You're still going to be contributing to the game. So you don't have to be good at all. Like, honestly, you don't. You could be the worst aiming person in the team, you know what I mean, and the lowest level with the least amount of equipment, and be on a really high skilled team with everything unlocked and all this other shit, playing on tier 5, right? And you're gonna be just fine because we're gonna take care of you. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be just fine. You're gonna level the fuck up quick and everything, and we're gonna help you get what you want. Or you're just gonna not really care and just enjoy fighting bugs all day, and you just get on just to shoot bugs. Like, that's fine. You can do whatever it is you want to do. The game has so many, you know what I mean, options as far as, like, you know, replayability. Yeah, for every type of player. Like, I think Dragon was saying something the other day in chat, and she was like, if I played this, I would literally be the worst in the game, and we wouldn't get shit done. I'm like, no, we would be just fine. We would be absolutely fine. You can come with us on a Hell Dive mission, and you would survive. Like, we got you covered. We'll just make sure you do take the meta shit, so if you are alone, you can take care of yourself. You know what I mean?
Like, even then, like, even if you do die and you fail a mission, like, yeah, it sucks, right?
It doesn't matter.
You still had fun. You still had a legitimate fun. And I think a lot of games stop being fun because they stop focus on being fun. They focus on numbers. They focus on the sweaty people. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
And their choice, Call of Duty.
When it comes to those competitive games, you know, you kind of do get left behind in the dust, and I feel like this game does a good job not leaving you behind in the dust.
Yeah, like you can, if you're playing in Call of Duty and you're not pulling 30 kills a fucking match, you're just trash at the game. You're never gonna get good, and it's just nothing but toxicity. Like, you have to be a good player, and even if you are, you're gonna get shit on. In this game, it's like, oh, this dude sucks. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna have to compensate for that. So instead of being worried about doing specific things, you just go in there and fucking do everything and just have a fucking good time, just killing bugs and shit, and turn it into fun. It's not hard to make the fucking game, like, actually fun and enjoyable and make new friends. Like, how many fucking new friends have we made so far in this fucking community already, and the game has just come out? Like, our channels are going to grow from it because we enjoy playing it. I'm excited to see where it goes to, and how many people want to enjoy this shit.
Yeah, and then so we're kind of gonna start wrapping it up here. I think we did a really good job, Earthbound. Thank you so much for joining me here. But and so, like, now that we're coming to the end here, if there's anything that viewers want to ask, if you do have any questions about the game, now is a great time. I know I don't have a lot of people in my chat right now, but if anybody in Earthbound's chat has any questions,
it is midnight. It is almost midnight for my channel.
Yeah,
I know Admiral is probably, you know, tuning down. I know Tabby's probably, I think she's working now. She works late, so, but yeah, I know a lot of our guys are fucking, you know, winding down and everything, but yeah, definitely. This is going to be put up on YouTube on both of our I'm assuming you're putting this on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be putting this on YouTube. I'm going to be editing it probably like tomorrow morning.
Why can't I send Yes Daddy in purple stream? Because I don't think he has blurb set up.
It's not set up on the podcast.
Wife and I are grinding on Helldivers right now. Oh my god, bro. You are a lucky man to have her going down with you on Helldiver. That's a badass, dude. Hey, get after it for the greater good. You know, impose your freedom, our freedom, on the enemy. Aggressively, tenaciously, effectively. Tell your wife we said hello. Reaper Crew loves our fucking homies. Stay strong. Helldivers don't die. Helldivers don't die.
Get in there and fight if you want to live forever. Anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and wrap up here then. If you do have any questions, you can definitely go into Reaper's Discord. I also have a Discord set up too, if you guys want to come in there and hang out, or just like go ahead and say hi, or even ask about the game. And we play other games as well. I know Earthbound plays some Call of Duty on the side here and there.
No, I do not. No, we do not.
No, okay.
The only game I'm playing right now is Helldivers. I am going to tell you right now, I know we're ending the stream, and I would love to wrap it up this way, that I have not had a game since Destiny 1 and the beginning of Destiny 2 after up to Cade. In that incident, I have not enjoyed a game more than I have been enjoying this game. I have found that I am able to enjoy my time with my friends I'm able to make new friends. I feel like my community feels a bit stronger with this game present on my channel. Granted, I'm going through a lot of shit right now in life, and this has been a massive escape, which is what gaming is supposed to be. And I just feel like this is taking us back to Halo days, man, when we were just like hop in with no goal in mind, just to be together, and then, you know, creating those memories and those instances where we're, you know, the shit we're never gonna forget. You know, times that we're gonna, you know, talk to each other about years from now. Like, oh, you remember when we fucking played Hard Ever, dude? And we're all fucking fighting each other, and then Reaper just came over and dropped 380s on us. Like, that's a clip I just put out the other day. Like, it's fucking shit like that, man. I miss that. I miss gaming. I don't enjoy Call of Duty. I don't enjoy fucking, you know, Fortnite. I don't enjoy the new Destiny shit. This shit's fucking good.
Yeah. It's a great game.
Fun since Battlefield 3 or maybe early Arma 2 DayZ. Yeah, exactly. This game, it really is ending. I think this game is really going to make a massive impact on the gaming community and try to bring back what it was supposed to be. Like, I mean, I don't know how old you are, Admiral. I know me and Purple, for sure, when we were younger, we missed going over to our buddy's house to have a LAN party on the weekend. I miss that.
Or just bringing your...
present
bringing
with
your controller
in front of a fucking TV. Yeah, just fucking playing Halo. Or playing Call of Duty. Or playing fucking, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Because
it
was fun, and it was meant to just be fun. Like, that's
all it was meant to be.
And that's what I feel like this game is doing. And I love, like, this Power World. Another game came out, I can't remember right now, but like they're trying to make games fun again. It's not like, oh, we have to follow this formula and be exactly like every other game.
You know what I think it is? You know what I think it is? I think a lot of the developing teams and stuff like that have been in Call of Duty, Fortnite, and everything they've been leaving. They've been getting fired or being kicked out or leaving. Even the Destiny community, like the Bungie community, they've been leaving. And I think a lot of those people are in these teams now.
I hope so.
And it's a brand, because you got to think, like, a lot of these good games that are coming out right now are coming from studios that we've never heard of. They're new, they're young, they're small, and all those people that are in them, if you pay enough attention, some of those people that are in there are on those teams, or were on those teams, and they're bringing gaming back. And I think the gaming community has had enough of this fucking corporate money groveling shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't even touch on that yet, dude. Because even the CEO is like, yeah, we're never gonna make it pay to win. We're not gonna sit there and make you have to dev out hella money for microtransactions. Because even the armor that you get and some of the stuff that you pay for, you already have the same type of armor stats and types. It's just it just looks cool.
It looks, or you can buy the credits and shit if you want to. Like, if you're like, oh, I only got like 5 hours to buy this but I need like 100 fucking credits, and I'm not going to be able to make that. So you just buy the credits real quick and get the armor that you were wanting to get because it's up on the daily, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But then but you don't have to do that. You could just play the game and just go grind out the shit you need. But the ability to be able to get the premium war bonds by finding super credits in the game, unheard of today. Exactly. That's exactly what Purple has been saying. You don't have to spend money on this game. I love that. Even the premium armor, right? Now, granted, the premium armor and the same exact armor you could get from the past, right? From the war bond. However, they just don't look the same.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Like he was saying. But even then, it's just like, bro, I love the fact that, like, this game does not give a fuck about your money. It just wants you to enjoy it. And
it just wants to be fun. It wants to just be a good game.
Man, I've missed that, especially right now in my life, bro. Like, both of our lives, both of our lives
are crazy man. We've been going through some shit, bro, but
yeah, we have. But, like, having this to go back to is just...
It's an outlet, and it's not another chore, I feel. Like, that's...
Exactly.
That's what I feel like, and I like this direction, and I hope...
Exactly.
I hope the devs, like, continue doing this. You guys are doing a great job. If you do see this video, I doubt it, but, like, at the same time, if you do, thank you. Thank you for making a good game.
If you see us on YouTube, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah, dude.
As a player base in the community, from both from Purple's community and the Reaper crew, like, seriously, like,
thank you. Keep up the great work. I know
giving us something to love again on gaming. I know. Fuck out of our shitty lives right now, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand it's not perfect, and, like, you can even see the bug going on right now, but I get it. I'm not saying you guys are bad. No. I hope you guys fix the things, but, like, even with all the bugs that happen, this game still brings me back, like, almost every night pretty much now.
The bugs are hilarious, dude.
They are hilarious.
Yeah,
so,
I keep wanting to come back, even though my shit, like yesterday, sorry, not yesterday, last night and today has been a huge implosion on my own life. And I still couldn't, like, I was like, you know what? I know if I get on here with Purple and we do this podcasting today, like, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to feel a lot better doing that. And then I got to go back to reality. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? And I miss that, because before that, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to play. I don't know what I want to do. Now I'm like, fuck it. I might get on Hell Live, or I'm going to jump in the Hell Pod in my fucking community, or my Discord, and sit there, go live, and just chill for a minute. Somebody's going to be there with me. Somebody's going to come in. If not, I'm going to go play with randoms, and I'll be just fine. But yeah, dude, I agree. Like, I think, you know, this is the end of the podcast, but, like, I think this is going to be really good for us, the community of gamers that we have right now, and the generation we have, and everybody that's out there right now. Like, I think we're gonna have a good time with this shit.
Oh yeah, and then kind of just to kind of end it here, if you guys do want us to do more of these little podcasts, these reviews, please let us know in our Discord.
Oh, we're definitely doing this. I like this break from game.
Yeah.
If Purple doesn't do it every Thursday, don't worry. Every Thursday over here on the shit show, we're gonna be doing a podcast. Purple will probably be there with us, but
yeah.
We're going to definitely do one. I really enjoyed this shit. This is his idea. It's his podcast. Make sure. Can't wait for the next pod. Oh, you know what? It's a great format. Okay. You know what? Admiral, don't worry. On Thursday next week, we'll be here. Make sure you go over, click right now before we go offline. Click on Purple Doughboy 07 up here in the description. Go over, drop him a follow. Bomb the fuck out of him if you want to. Join his Discord. Make sure you guys show him some love. He's the man right now. The hour. That's his podcast. The Reaper crew is just present. But definitely make sure, Admiral, starting next week, I promise you, chat, and everybody that is going to be in the community that does go to the YouTube channel, all 30 of you guys over there, we will be pushing out more videos, more content.
We're working together to bring more
podcast shit. We are going to. If Purple's okay with it, I would love to merge our shit in on some of our content. So you guys feel, both communities feel like there's a connection going, and it will bring a strong ass community together.
Oh yeah.
If y'all don't call this the Hell Pod, stand by.
He's changing the title right now. But yeah, so basically I'm gonna be editing this tomorrow, and then we're gonna be putting it on YouTube, and then we're gonna make a Google Drive just because it'll be easier, and then kind of just putting it up so that way he can get it as well and put it onto his. And then we're kind of working together to make more content for you guys. If you do have suggestions or any games that you want us to cover, please don't hesitate to go into either one. Or if you want to be a
part of the content.
That too. Please go into the Discord. Please let us know. We're willing to talk about pretty much anything, as long as this doesn't have to do with religion or politics. You know how that shit goes. But
you guys know the rules on mine. It's the same on his.
Yeah. So as long as we kind of keep it quote unquote PC enough for us not to get canceled, just please let us know. We're here for you. We're here to entertain you. Also, just remember, in my channel and in Reaper's channel, you're always in a safe place. You're always going to be accepted, and you're deserving of love. Thanks again for coming by, guys. I really appreciate you. Earthbound, do you have anything to add before we end the podcast?
You guys know how we do it here. I fucking love you all. I'm gonna see you guys oh shit, sorry, I will not be live tomorrow. I apologize in advance. Like I said, some shit's going down. I gotta move. I'm finally getting shit squared away. I'm starting to figure shit out and get moved back up. If you've been present around the channel in the last couple of months, a lot of shit is going on, but we're gonna be moving up to that point where I'm good to go. So I'm gonna be traveling tomorrow. I'll be back live on Tuesday in the evening, back to my live. Purple, I don't know if it's okay with you, but I'm gonna be trying to go live closer to your time, so I'm gonna go live at 6 p.m. my time to 9 p.m. my time, EST. Because then Purple is gonna go live after that, and then I'll be playing with him through his live as well, so that way, you know what I mean, our communities and everything can kind of commingle and everything and shit like that too, and it doesn't overstretch my time on stream, because that's something Purple brought up to my attention, was like, hey, stream a little less, it'll continue to, it'll help you. So we're doing that. So yeah, so I'll see you guys on, our normal thing. I'll fucking see you guys in the shit show on Tuesday at 6 p.m. I love y'all. Good night.
Good night, guys.